We Real Reels.
Welcome to We Real Reels, the monthly podcast where we review old movies to find out if they are as good as we remember or if they make you lose quality time. I'm your host, Panda Brandon, and with me is the beautiful Koala Sam.
Hello.
And the late-ass Grizzly Zay.
What up, what up?
Nice one. This podcast does contain spoilers, and we will be discussing the movie at length. This is a mature content podcast, so be prepared for harsh language and awkward situations. All sound clips, music, and trailers are only used for review purposes and belong to their respective owners. How are you feeling, Koala?
I am very tired. Our cub got sick last night, and I'm running on limited sleep. How are you feeling?
I'm all right. So, let's get to the hypothetical for this month. If there was a case to solve in Miami, would it be a funny adventure with Beary and the bad boys?
Bad boys would not even entertain Beary whatsoever.
I mean, if he's a key witness,
no.
They gotta protect him.
Well, so, because the guy that they met, the criminal at the very end, they're the type of people who just talk mad shit to people. And I don't think Beary could vibe with that whatsoever.
I think it'd be just fine.
Nah.
I think it'd be a case where these two bad boys will be, kind of protecting Beary throughout the thing. And he's doing goofy ass stuff to get himself in more and more danger. And they just keep trying to protect him, talking shit about him, talking shit about other people.
I think Marcus would give up on him.
Yeah, he just wanted some quality time. That's all he wanted. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into our first segment of what you been doing and what you gonna do.
Hey, watch it, pal. What have you been doing? What are you gonna do, huh?
All right, Koala, if you want to start this one off.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. What I did last month, I completely and totally slacked with working out. I meant to change my routine, and I guess with the change, I just completely and totally messed up and just went out of my consistency. Because what I was going to do is I was going to change it up to do more of like squats, abs, arms, just like a full body instead of just doing the straight up cardio. And I just have just completely failed at that. So I'll work on that. We ended up figuring out the pre-K. We ended up touring a couple schools, and we found a place that Panda ended up finding, and we really liked it. He did get tested to see if he gets kindergarten or pre-K, and he did need to do another round of pre-K. Smart-wise, he's smart, but
I don't know if he needed another one.
I think he's just emotionally not, because what she was explaining is that he needs to sit down and pay attention to class, and he just don't do that. He gets sidetracked and just kind of like bounce around all over the place. Like he's a 4-year-old boy, so like he's gonna want to play around. So I get it, and I'm totally fine with it, because then next year when he gets more advanced, then he should be able to get tested into a magnet school, and that's what I wanted him to get into anyways. So it works out all in all. Just trying to overall been knocking things off the list to do around the house. I ended up doing my yearly dentist appointment, and I got to figure out something to do with I ended up passing out when I was like 15, 16, and I smacked my face on like the sink or the bathtub or whatever. So it's slowly dying.
What is?
My front tooth.
Your face. Oh.
No, my front tooth. The root is like pretty much non-existent at this point. So I gotta figure it out. I just don't want to do a veneer, because once you start taking away your tooth, like you can't get that tooth back. So they were saying that tooth could eventually die completely, and I have to get it removed. So I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,500 to get one veneer. So I'm just kind of like, ugh. So what I'll do next month is I gotta get it kicked into gear for working out, because I've been slacking very bad. See, we're gonna be hosting Easter, so we're gonna be getting the house ready for that, figuring out food, etc., and celebrate that. I want to keep knocking out my to-do list, and then I want to keep knocking out my reading book list that I feel like I'm getting good. The last book for Throne of Glass that I've been talking about every so often, I was going to pick it up, but it's almost 1,000 pages long. So I was like, okay, let me let me read another book that I need to read because I'm doing a movie night with this book. So I was like, let me read this one first, and then I'll try to conquer that, and I'll be completely done with this series. So yeah.
How about that?
A lot, but whatever.
Whatever. It is a lot. All right. I'm up next then. I'll go. So, as you guys know, I've got this plumbing job. So I've been on different plumbing adventures so far, crawling under houses, fixing people's spigots and whatnot. It's been pretty fun learning so far. And I got to go on a special little adventure not too long ago. Me and my trainer, Bobby, were out at a call, and it was going pretty good. It was going pretty good. We met this little old lady. Her name was Martha, and she had a problem with her water heater. So her water heater was in the garage. Her car was in the garage. So we're trying to squeeze by her car. There's one side, the left side of the car has more space than the right side. So we both go in that way. And she goes in behind us. So we're looking at this water heater, and Bobby's recommended, he recommends we change it out, get a new one. And he tells her, I'll write some estimates up, let you know how much it costs, and we'll go from there. Well, she doesn't move. There's only one way out of the garage now. And she's just standing there. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she asks us another question, and Bobby answers it. And he says, we'll get that estimate written up, and we'll go from there.
Man, you got to get out of the garage and go to your car.
Yeah, we got to go back to the truck and get the tablet, write this estimate up. But she is not moving. So I take the initiative because I'm not going to stand here and look at these guys look at each other all day. I'm going to the other side. And she's like, I don't know if you'll be able to squeeze over there. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty small. I can get out. So I get out. And she finally is like, I guess I just need to get out of the way. And so she starts leading Bobby out of the garage. And I hear something like some flip-flops stuttering or some Crocs, like something falling over there. She had a bunch of stuff in the garage. And we get into the car, and Bobby's looking at me, and I don't really pay attention. So I just get on my phone, wait for him to get done with the estimate. He gets done with the estimate. As he's writing the estimate, his fiance calls him, and he tells her that this little old woman just farted on him. She just let one rip on him, and that's what that sound was. And I was like, that's what that was? And man, I could not hold it in ever since. I started crying, laughing, not in front of the customer, obviously. But once we left, man, he was just talking about she just blew a load right on his damn leg as he's leaving. And we had a bad week. He didn't make no money that day. And I was like, man, you're going to go home. And your fiance's like, what'd you make today, babe? And he's like, well, I got a pocket full of farts because this lady just let it loose right on my leg, man. It was hilarious. I don't know why it was uncontrollable. One of those laughs that you just need. I was crying. It was a lot.
I bet he was not happy about it.
Yeah, he wasn't laughing as much as I was. But it was great. Besides that, I had to have hernia surgery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, going in. Apparently a piece of... Well, actually, I got a little lucky because it wasn't as bad as most hernias. Most hernias is your intestines going through your abdominal wall. Mm-hmm. Mine was just like the beginning of it was just like there's a layer of fat behind your abdominal wall, and that started going through my abdominal wall, and not quite my intestines yet. So that was a good sign there.
Positive.
But that morning, it was a good morning. Going into the
Why do you say that?
The hospital. Mm-hmm. Because I was sedated, man. I was getting high.
Oh.
Off all them sedation drugs they gave me.
You said going into the hospispittal. That's not
this wasn't very nerve-wracking either, this surgery. I don't like being poked by needles. That's the only problem. Oh. Then I had some lady freaking jabbing me in my hand with a dang needle.
Well, and also it seemed a little higher up because it was like at your wrist instead of on top of your hand. So it seemed a little odd placement, but
yeah, I don't like
whatever.
It. But yeah, I got the needle in there. And they started doing the sedation thing, and they had this new thing where they'll put like a numbing substance in your stomach.
Nerve block.
Or I guess wherever you're having surgery, so that you can better recover without pain the next day. And it worked, let me tell you. If you go into surgery and they tell you about this nerve block thing, get it, because it worked. The next day, my stomach was still numb. It felt like I was wearing a bodysuit and I had somebody else's stomach on. And it was awesome. So I didn't feel none of the soreness or pain. At least immediately when I woke up, and that was awesome. So get the nerve block if you can. But as they were putting that on, they put the little oxygen on me, and I just saw them getting it ready. And I was like, oh man, this is going to suck. I know the first part's going to suck. They're going to stab me in the stomach with these needles. Talking about, the numbing agent will be inactive in about 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And well, the needle's in me now. But that didn't happen. Like, as soon as I asked them, I was like, is this going to suck? he was like, well, right about now, you should be feeling a little loopy. And as soon as he said that, my eyes are going, whoa, I do feel it. And that's the last thing I remember. But Koala says there's another side of the story. So I got it written down from the things I said, and it goes a little something like this. So apparently I asked Koala to come back into the room. The sedation doctor come in. I had to go to the waiting room and get Koala and say, hey, come on back here. Your husband wants you. And I'm laying there and I tell her, I love you. I love Gray. I love everybody. But they need to get their shit together. Especially Polar. And Grizzly needs to think smarter on things. Like time. And Camden needs to save his money and get out of Mom's basement. Mom doesn't even have a basement. And then I guess I hear the heart monitor beep, 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 just going off. And I look at it and I say, I can slow that down with Ninja Focus. And Koala says I entered some kind of Zen mode, just closed my eyes and started breathing. And I knocked it down like 10 beats per minute. And I look back at her and I say, you see what I did?
So at this point, I'm like, he's bullshitting. This ain't gonna work. Like, I'll entertain it. And I'm kind of looking around like, okay, how long do I need to entertain this for?
Well, long enough because I am a ninja. After that, were there any other crazy stories? I think I've been right. Oh, I had requested that I get a black coffin.
Oh, yeah.
So that whenever I wake up from the surgery, I can rise up like the Undertaker. Yeah, that didn't happen. And then the last thing I do kind of remember was the doctor checking my surgery site, and I'm like butt naked on this gown. And so he flips it up a little too much, and I'm like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, they were very, like, they had the blanket covering you, but yeah, I feel like everybody saw your junk.
I could have kept my underwear out. But I ended up telling the doctor, I was like, whoa, hey, man, I'm a grower, not a shower. You got to laugh out of that. And he was telling Koala about that.
Yeah, because I didn't even hear what you said. And I heard his response of, well, I'm not looking down there or something like that. And I start laughing because I already know, because you wanted me to write. You wanted me to write it on your belly that you were growing up. I was like, I'm not writing that.
That would have been awesome. But that's I think that's about it for me for last month. Well, I mean, I did get put on at the plumbing job. I did get put on a clerical kind of work now. I'm in the office area until I can get back to my full capacity of work. Right now, I can't lift crap. I'm still healing. Got some oxycodones, and everybody's like, you need to be careful with those. I'm not a druggie. I'm going to take my full prescription, though, even if I don't need it. I mean, how many times you get oxycodone? What do you say?
Well, and also, I mean, if you don't know that lifestyle or the hookup to be able to get drugs on the side, like, I feel like that's not such an easy thing to Google.
I mean, if people are addicted, they will find a way to get it, but it's too much for me. It's too much effort, to go down that wrong road to do that. And like, even if I did it like sensibly, like I'll just spend my income, I don't know. Even if you were a sensible addict, it's too much. Right. It's too much.
Well, and also you got nauseous off of it too. So I feel like it's not.
Well, like Lil Wayne and that little codeine thing. He's taking he takes something else in codeine because something will make you nauseous, and he takes that so he can take the codeine. And,
it just doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah, you got to purchase a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff into being a druggie and an addict, I guess. But I guess I don't know that. So maybe there isn't a lot of stuff. I don't know. It seems to be easy. But I'm not going down that road. Next month, I plan on meeting my drug dealer and getting some more oxycodone. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. I can quit anytime. Ain't that what they say? I just don't want to. Next month, I'm finally going to get back into working out because, this whole hernia thing's gone. I don't have nothing to worry about. I'll be ripping and running, earning and burning, clanging and banging.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Well, 4 more weeks now at this point?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can take it slow. We can do some curls or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to get that back together. Start wearing this Deadpool costume a little more. I'm excited about it. Went to a little Comic-Con not too long ago, taking pictures. Told y'all about that. And I don't know. We'll just have to see what the future holds for us. Mm-hmm. But let's go on and move on to our next segment of Grizzly's Anime in Arms.
It's over 9,000.
What's up, y'all? So this one I'm talking about is a little pair. I think since we're going with partners, then I'm gonna go with this little anime partners here that I think is pretty unstoppable. The show is called Undead Unluck.
Undead Unluck.
Yep. And Undead Unluck is a Japanese supernatural anime series about an unlucky girl with an undead man who join forces for the greatest death ever.
Wow.
The two discover conspiracies involving superhumans while working together using their superpowers to kill or just like stop certain catastrophes from happening. Right. It was a Shonen Jump weekly magazine from 2020 to 2025. And so whenever they start production, the visuals are pretty good. The voice acting is good. And it's a nice premise. So Fuko Uzimo, sorry, I'm not good with Japanese names, guys, but she's an 18-year-old girl who has been living in seclusion for 10 years since an incident that left 200 people dead, including her parents when she was 8 years old.
Damn.
Following the completion of her favorite long-running manga, Fuko decides to commit suicide and is tormented by the fact that her unluck ability brings bad luck to anyone she comes into direct contact with. She soon meets an undead man who is amazing, and he has regenerative powers. She names him Andy.
Good old Andy.
Good old Andy. And he desires to die one day because he cannot be killed. So the first time she meets him, he dies, he gets his head chopped off, but he's just floating around with blood spurting away from his head.
Oh, wow.
Just going around. And so in this world, there is something called negators.
The negators.
The negators. And negators are anything in the world that has the power to change anything. So just like this girl is unlucky, the Andy, he can't die. They have people that really anything in the world, like one guy can slice atoms. One guy is like he sucks up moisture to dry up everything. His name is Thirst.
Ooh.
Another guy is named Decay, so anything he touches it decays.
Oh, damn.
They have the Autumn, which is just a big tree that they have to kill that keeps regenerating. They have Summer. Summer is just the sun, like hot as fuck.
Okay.
Like everything, dude. They call them negators. And so, like, to prevent catastrophes, they have to go and take care of the catastrophes where they can then be starting to use, by the way, it's like whenever the world is forming, they have to complete certain missions to add that to the world's, like, evolution.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she finds Unluck. They join something called the Union. And the Union is 10 people who have special abilities in a team where they hunt the people that I was telling you that's negators. And so the mission of the team is proposed by this thing called the Apocalypse. An Apocalypse is a book that has supernatural powers that gives these guys the missions. And then they have to hunt these animals that's called UMAs, unidentified mysterious animals, like the summer, autumn, fall, like all that stuff, right? And when they're created by God, it gets added on to the world where it then becomes part of the world, the known world. So like one time, what they did was they made everybody be able to communicate with each other. Oh. So if you speak Japanese and I speak English, somehow I will be able to understand what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's cool. And then they have somebody else that don't think that they're doing a good job, and these are called under and regulators. And they would always fight with the Union to try to get control of Apocalypse, because Apocalypse is the most important book in this world because it can add or dismantle anything that it chooses to. But it decides to give missions, and they have to complete all 3 missions for nothing to happen. Or if you don't get one thing finished, that thing becomes the new thing of the world. And if you add too much things in the world is going to die.
Okay, that seems complicated.
Yeah. So the thing with Andy and Azuko is anytime anybody touches her, something bad happens to that person.
Oh.
And so since he can't die, he would kiss her, rub like the most skin you would be able to touch her with, the worst thing happens to you. Like she had meteors flying on people. She had missiles getting thrown at just out of nowhere. And so he would like touch her boobs or kiss her or whatever, and then just go charge into battle knowing that he's not going to die. And then a fucking missile or a meteor would come out of nowhere, destroy whatever he's touching, and then he would just regenerate and it'd be fine.
How about that?
But it's the thing is that he has a little piece of metal in his forehead that's keeping another persona like hidden. And this guy's evil. And so he can regenerate like that. Like, but he's super evil. He wants to kill everything. He wants to kill the world and he wants to keep going. And so at one point, the sliver comes out of his head.
Bro, are you telling us about this whole anime? Or are you just going to tell us a little bit about it? Okay, so we can watch it. It's not like you're telling me about the whole goddamn anime.
I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah, dang.
I'm just so excited about it.
All right, so check it out.
Just check it out.
Dang.
Just know that this guy has a separate persona and he is like world ending type of thing. Okay. And he also wants to die, but he don't want this girl to kill her. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
you can tell I'm so excited about this damn thing.
What's the name of it again so we can check it out?
Undead Unluck. And I think it only has 24 episodes at this point, the first season. And it's stacked with backstabbings and double crossing and double crossing and double crossing.
All right. Well, we'll check it out. Undead Unluck. Thanks for that, Grizz.
So excited about it.
All right. Thank you for that, Grizz. Now we're going to move on into Panda Tales.
Sit back and prepare yourself for Panda Tales.
All right, guys, welcome to Panda Tales. And just a little update for our new listeners. Panda Tales is a segment where we tell true stories that relate to the movie that we are reviewing. And today we're doing Bad Boys. And not all the time will we have an actual like true event that, goes hand in hand, because a lot of movies are not based off true events, So I just try to find similar instances in real life that these events happen. And then I try to get a little story on those. But in this case, we got some mother-loving true events about bad boys. Two Miami-Dade police officers, Roderick Flowers and Keith Edwards, gained notoriety for their real-life bad boys persona, but ultimately faced federal charges and prison sentences after a drug sting operation revealed their involvement in protecting a cocaine load. Yeah, a little more detail about that. The Bad Boys connections of Flowers and Edwards were both members of Miami-Dade's Priority Response Team, and they were known for their social media posts, where they frequently posed with badges and expensive jewelry, and even dressed as the characters from the Bad Boys movie franchise. The drug sting, a 6-month investigation by the Drug Enforcement Administration, that's the DEA, led to the arrest of Flowers and Edwards along with 4 others after a confidential source posing as a member of the Sinaloa drug cartel began arranging money laundering deals with an alleged South Florida money launderer. The charges: Flowers and Edwards were charged with conspiracy to possess cocaine with intent to distribute, and they pled guilty to protecting a cocaine load. The sentence: both officers were sentenced to 1 year and 3 months in federal prison, followed by 2 years of house arrest and 5 years of probation, along with a requirement to serve up to 1,000 hours of community service per year.
Dang.
Yeah, law enforcement careers are finished. They are done, along with their social media impersonations of Bad Boys actors Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. So how about that?
Right. It sounds like they were just dressing up like them, but they weren't like actually trying to be them, because Marcus and Mike weren't into the drugs. Like, they weren't trying to do no money laundering or anything like that. They weren't trying to do anything illegal. Like, that's
the real life problem. Well, they were going to jail. These are criminals.
Yeah, but
they wanted to be the bad boys, the personas. These are narcotics detectives. These guys were in narcotics, so yeah, they were the same.
I mean, I get it, but
the point was that these guys were bad. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Just don't
like,
even know.
Just after today, after watching Wicked, just things aren't like following because like she was green. But then the world in itself has talking animals. And I'm just like, how the hell does that like flow as her being green being such a damn problem? And then now it's just like this. It's not like actually clicking together. I've had like 4 hours of sleep, if that. So it's just like, it's not clicking.
Wicked has messed you up the rest of the day.
I guess. It wasted almost 3 hours of my life.
Well,
I'm just not a musical person, I guess, because good Lord, that was way too many songs.
Well, let's get into our music review. I mean, goddamn, you done fucked me up. Our movie review. But before we do, we always enjoy our movie review with a nice adult beverage. And this month's adult beverage is Crown Vanilla. Uncap a world of smooth indulgence. Crown Royal Vanilla blends the iconic smoothness of our whiskey with the warm, rich essence of Madagascar vanilla. Imagine creamy vanilla notes dancing on your palate, perfectly balanced with the subtle oak and spice of Crown Royal. Its luxurious escape, a moment of pure comfort. Crown Royal Vanilla, where smooth meets sweet. How about that? Tink. To you. Now let's get into that bad boys.
It was brilliant. It was foolproof. It was the perfect crime. But for Miami detectives Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry,
Buenos dias, mi amor.
it was the ultimate nightmare.
This was our career bust, which is what, $100 million?
Just do what you do, only faster.
Let's try to do this right. No gunshots, no dead bodies. Well, you know, if I recall correctly, the last couple dead bad guys belong to you. Please, you ain't even trying to compare body counts. Should I keep going all day? I'm out.
This case,
We got 72 hours before the FBI and the DEA walk in here and shut us down.
You know, you drive almost slow enough to drive Miss Daisy.
this murder, and this witness.
You ain't with the bad guys now. You with the cops.
This is your getaway car? What is this, a family station wagon? Thank God you got a baby seat in the back.
are going to put them
Look at you. Look at you. Can you stay focused? What are you talking about? I'm focused. Yeah, focused on all this scattered ass around here.
to the ultimate test. Columbia Pictures presents
Don't be alarmed, we're Negroes.
Oh, man, that's too much bass in your voice. That's scare white folks.
Martin Lawrence,
We were wondering if we can burn some brown sugar.
Will Smith,
You see, you have something wrong with you. What's up?
more will be served. Justice will be done.
You forgot your boarding pass.
And boys will be boys. Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right. And as you know, that is Bad Boys. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Sound like it's going to be great. Can't wait for it. And as of right now, in March of 2025, you can watch it on Max or you can buy it on physical or digital. It is directed by Michael Bay, and other movies he has done are The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2, The Island, Transformers, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, Pain and Gain, Transformers Age of Extinction, Transformers The Last Night, Six Underground, and Ambulance. This movie is starring Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Tia Leone, Tcheche Cario, Cheque Cario, Theresa Randall, and Joe Pantaleono. Please don't judge me on those. I tried my best, okay? It came out on April 7th, 1995. Other movies that came out on April of 95 were Three Ninjas, Knuckle Up, a Goofy Movie, While You Were Sleeping, Kiss of Death, Jury Duty, and Friday. This movie made $151 million on a $23 million budget. So, yeah, they did pretty dang good. And the plot of this bad boy is Miami-Dade detectives Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett blow a fuse when $100 million worth of heroin they recently confiscated is heisted from station headquarters. Suspecting it was an inside job, Internal Affairs gives them 5 days to track down the drugs before they shut down the narcotics division. Action meets farce when Marcus is compelled to masquerade as his partner in order to gain the trust of a call girl, a key witness in the investigation. How about that, guys? Let's go. Let's get into it. All right, we start off with this unique view of Miami, and then this real fast Porsche driving down the interstate and has two guys inside, Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry. They're going back and forth on talking about the car, how expensive it is, and it doesn't even have cup holders. You know, this expensive car, and then Marcus ends up spilling something like fries or something in there. And yeah, it's terrible. Just terrible. He's upset about it. It's like one of those fastest cars in the world. And Mike is excited about it. He loves it. He's talking about how fast it goes. Well, they pull over so Marcus can clean up his mess, and they're being tailed. And the people behind them stop as well, but they let out a pretty woman to walk in front of the car and distract the two guys. And as she walks in front of the Porsche, it works. They are distracted. And while they are distracted and arguing, the guys in the car get out of the car behind them, and they pull guns on them. They're about to rob these guys. And they tell him, Mike and Marcus, to get out of the cars. And Mark and Mike are trying to tell them, hey, man, you picked a bad day. We're cops. And one of the guys is like, yeah, and I'm a stand-up comedian.
She did look like she was struggling real hard walking in them hills until he started like looking at her. So I don't know what the switch up that was. Pulling guns out in broad daylight, that's wild.
Hey, gotta rob him.
And then also, how in the hell does this cop afford a $105,000 car?
Well, Marcus starts quoting Wesley Snipes movies, man, and I guess this is code, because he ends up splashing his drink all over the guy that has a gun on him, and that's when the guy that's on Mike is distracted, so they both take control of this situation and pull guns on them.
Which is smart, but I don't know. How many times does this work where they just start arguing to the point where it distracts the people, the bad guys?
Hey, it works. It ain't broke, don't fix it.
Which I'm assuming we skipped the part about the whole fast food and the super expensive car. If I already know I didn't want somebody eating in my car because the car is so expensive, then that should have been something that he should have studied it beforehand, or not.
Well, we go after they take this ordeal here and get under control. We go to see this armored truck rolling down the street, and there's a guy in the back. And the one guy seen, he's talking, he's got this uniform on, this cop uniform, and he's like, man, this thing looks good, don't it? It looks like the real thing. And the driver, or the passenger, in front says, do you remember your role? And the guy in the uniform says, yeah, it's supposed to be a distraction. And then the passenger says, good. And he shoots him right out the back door.
Everybody was so shocked by that. I guess like nobody was in part of that plan, or was he improvising, or what happened?
You couldn't tell him, man. Couldn't tell him. You told him, then word might get to him, and then the plan might be messed up. So they got a fallen cop down, and they need a distraction for the police. And they shot this fake cop outside, and they call it in. So they have helicopters, cars, everybody's out there trying to see which officer's down. So it was a good distraction. It worked. While the armed men and truck, they end up going up to these headquarters for, I believe, the police department. And they make it to the target. So they do this whole planned operation. I'm talking about it is planned down to the T. They break into the roof. They have a coated ventilation shaft that they just jump into. They set up cameras. They know where to look. They know where everything is. They hack the cameras that are already there. Man, they got everything good. They got this whole rail system that they put in this huge ventilation system that goes all the way down to the room that they needed to go down to. They got liquid nitrogen melting locks and breaking them. They have everything they need. This was a job done by professionals. They had planned for a long time, and now it's time for execution. It is showtime, and they are showing out. These guys are not missing a step.
Which I totally, when I watched this crap like 2-3 times, and I still completely bypassed the fact, because like my notes are like the police helipad wouldn't there be a crap ton of cameras everywhere? And then like how did they even get the schematics for this building? And then you see only one cop in the whole entire area. I completely forgot the fact that the whole entire, I guess, building, office, whatever the hell you're gonna call it, going after the cop that died. But yeah, I don't know, like because the guy said they only had like 20 minutes or 12 minutes to get in, get out, and then at one point then they said they had 6 minutes. Like that's just like that time frame just seems so unbelievable.
Well, they end up putting the guard to sleep. They got this rail system like I told you, and they get the heroin and drugs on it, and it just shoots it back up to the truck, and then they get into it. That's how they get out. And then after they leave, their equipment that they couldn't take with them self-destructs.
Did you see once they got all the drugs inside the truck, you see the driver ended up putting a block or two into it. I'm sorry. If that was me, I would have never taken anything for myself. Like, it's going to come back to you some way, somehow.
Well, the next day we see Marcus, one of the guys who was in the Porsche, wake up with his wife, and he's wanting some quality time. And he says he's a better cop when he gets some in the morning.
She just seems, I don't know.
Like
is it uninterested or like she's salty about something?
Kind of remind me of somebody.
Get the hell out of here.
But then she says, I can hear 3 brunettes coming down the hallway. Which is his 3 kids. They all come busting the room. Mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. And then we see old Mike Lowry. And that's the other guy who was in the car. He shows up in that Porsche again. And this is Marcus's partner. They're both police officers in the narcotics division. And they're both detectives. And we get the image that Mike is kind of a ladies' man. And they're having breakfast, Mike gets a call. And it's the captain who is really upset. And he's like, get down to the station now.
Well, also Marcus's wife ended up making like a comment in front of all the kids about how don't be telling my kids any of your like sex sleazy stories. Like kids are kids. They're gonna pick up on stuff and they're gonna repeat stuff. So it's just like they're too young. They shouldn't even said the word sex in front of the kids.
Well, the captain informs them that all of the drugs that they had busted have been stolen. And Mike says, that's our career bust, Cap. That's maybe, $100 million worth of heroin? And that's when the FBI agent comes in and threatens the captain. That is...
FBI agent? No, she was... what was she? She wasn't FBI. I thought she was something else.
Well, if she wasn't FBI, what is she?
DEI cop? DEI investigator? I don't know.
DEI?
I don't know.
That's got to do with hiring like disabled people or some shit.
What's the...
Well, most definitely not around back then.
I don't know. I didn't think it was FBI. It was something else.
Anyways, if they prove to be incompetent, then she's going to take over the investigation and shut down narcotics. So she suggests that it's an inside job.
Which makes sense.
And the detectives put it together that they killed a decoder. Was it a decoy? They killed a decoy.
Yeah,
it wasn't a real cop. Wasn't a real cop because the whole force would have been really on them.
Right.
And not just, buzzing around.
Right.
And bees eating donuts and crap. Well, the captain says that this was your bust, so you're back on the case. The captain puts 2 other detectives on the case as well. But he tells Mike and Marcus that this could be an inside job. Don't rule it out.
Which they are, all four of those cops or detectives or what the hell they are, they were all bickering. Like, it kind of reminded me of the White Chicks, all of those cops where they were like bashing each other and not really liking each other. And then at the end of the movie, they ended up like having to come to work together, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's what it reminded me of.
I didn't feel that relationship between the White Chick detectives and those other two. I feel like they really didn't like each other. These, I feel like it's like a playful banter, like, yeah, your mama does this and this and this, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have you back.
Gotcha.
Those other ones really feel like they don't like each other.
Oh. And then also there's literally no cameras. Literally nothing. I mean, I get they messed up the cameras. Yeah, but I don't know.
No, there's no cameras then. What are you going for?
I don't know. Like, it's just so unrealistic. No, it's just so
unrealistic. Hack a camera.
Yeah, but it's just like there's only one cop paying attention, an old white cop that's just so lazy and so fat that he didn't pay attention. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Well, who's going to rob the police headquarters?
Obviously, some damn body. Like, I feel like it would be better, like, protected or something.
These were professionals, and they had an inside guy on there. Well, the captain says we have 72 hours until the DEA and the FBI shut us down. So politics demand that somebody take a rap for this, and it's going to be us. So you guys do what you got to do.
Also, which one is it? I always get them mixed up. Mike, Will Smith's character, he's wearing a full-blown suit. It is way too hot. This is Miami.
And what are you going to say about Marcus? He's only got a vest on. That's unprofessional.
No, I would have. I mean, he's got to be because it's a detective. You can't just wear like a tank top and some jeans. But yeah, there's no way I'd be wearing a full suit. That's way too hot.
Mike and Marcus go and visit their old contacts and meet a guy named Joe who used to be in the drug game, but now he sells tires. And they go to the gym after they visit him. And Mike finds a lady named Maxie, and she has connections. So Mike talks to her. Yeah. She's working out. It's a gym. It's a boxing gym. They got weights. They got boxing, fitness everywhere. So Mike takes Maxie back to the back and you have a little conversation with her.
They were trying to be very private, but I felt like even in the back of a gym, like anybody can walk in. Like they're talking about literally her being a prostitute, working, and then also a drug bust. He's trying to get connections in that. Like, I feel like that's not a conversation to be had in a public setting.
Well, then he took her to the side.
That's still, anybody can walk
and
through there.
And while he's talking to her, Marcus is out there, trying out the gym, seeing if he's really going to like this gym. He's out there shadow boxing, trying to lift weights. He gets on the bench press and almost kills himself.
It didn't even look like that much weight either on that one.
Yeah, he almost got crushed. But back at the station, they end up getting a number for the new HVAC company that they had hired because they want to inspect those guys too to make sure they didn't have anything to do with it because they took a new contract for the police department not too long ago. So they go out to the house of the owner to talk to him, and when they get there, no one's home. The door's ajar, if you will.
Which isn't that really like straight up illegal, kicking on a door like that or opening a door?
He said he slipped and the door opened. But they managed to get inside, Marcus and Mike.
This is the funny part.
And Mike lets them know that, hey, we're here. 2 Negroes. And Marcus says, no, man, take that bass at your voice. You gotta sound like them. Hello? Can we borrow a cup of brown sugar? And that's when Mike smells the smell of death. So they both pull their guns out and begin to search the house when they find the owner on his desk, bleeding, dead.
This part, they come upon a dead guy. They automatically put their guns away. They don't make sure the rest of the house is secure, which, I mean, he's dead and it's probably been a while, but still, you don't make the house sure it's secure. And they don't automatically call it in. And then they start stepping over all the evidence, and they are barehanding all of this evidence. They're touching literally everything. Mike ended up lifting up the weapon, like the hand that the weapon went through, and was trying to get a piece of paper underneath that. And I'm like, y'all are destroying a whole bunch of evidence. And then also I don't know. I just can't get the feel of how long that they've been partners or if they're sick of each other because they're constantly bickering at each other. Like, it's like all their interactions are just bickering at this point.
Well, I mean, a good team, they got to really work it out. That's what good teams do, good teams work it out. But Mike believes that, for one, they're not murder detectives. Okay.
But still, they're cops. They should know.
But they're not here to solve a murder.
And I get that.
And having said that, if they were to call the CIA or whatever to, do this the right way, they could lose what information they have or need for their narcotics bust because they're focused on their case. They got to get their case done. The captain is top priority is narcotics right now. He doesn't care about them getting, a murder case. You find out who did the narcotics job. You find out who did this murder case. But anyways, Mike believes that this guy sells the ventilation deal to the bad guys. He gets rich and then they kill him. And Marcus is freaking out over about this dead body. He about to throw up. So that's the deal. This guy took the contract from the bad guys. Well, I mean, he already had the contract with the cops, but he took a deal with the bad guys, gave him ventilation plans, and then they kill him. He thought he was going to get rich.
Which, I mean, you can't really be that surprised. You're working with bad guys. And, that's a loose end. So,
well, I mean, they weren't labeled bad guys. They were labeled rich guys, probably. Well, Mike searches the body and finds out this guy's a gambler. So they do this because they don't want the DEA, FBI to take this case away from them. So they left the house. Marcus is saying that the transaction is over with. We've lost the case. Mike says, nah, we'll get it back. We did before, we do it again. And Marcus is kind of upset about his optimism. And he mentions that Mike Lowry is a rich kid playing a cop. So he's upset at Mike because of that.
Well, he was trying to explain it in a way for Mike to understand that he has money to, if he loses the job, if the whole entire department gets shut down, he's still got money. But Marcus, at the end of the day, this is his job. This is how he gets paid. If there's no job, he got a wife and kids. He got bills. So he is kind of stressing about the fact that they might not figure this out and they might lose their jobs.
Well, Mike took offense to that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because he's like, well, I'm supposed to apologize because my family has money. But he says that he always wanted to be a cop. So he's the first one at the police department and he's the last one to lead a scene. And he says, fuck them and fuck you and fuck everybody if they got a problem with Mike Lowry. And then Marcus apologizes and he said, I love you, man. You're my partner. And then they start singing the Bad Boy song from Cops. Bad boys, what you want to do?
Yeah, it shows me whenever we have fights, we always apologize and we always fuck off right at the end of it.
Won't you apologize for being there?
Oh, welcome.
I was waiting for it. Yeah,
just sliding all in.
So I left the party and I drove here and I kept every time I hit a bump, I kept hearing, okay, hitting something. And then I was coming around the back bend where you guys come to the house. Mm-hmm. I started hearing. I was like, oh shit. I pulled over and you already know, Panda, that my muffler rusted off.
How about that?
Yeah. I guess it was up north and it got all salty and it just
so it just completely
just fell off.
Oh.
And just now, my whole pipe fell off.
Ugh.
And was dragging behind the damn. So that's a strong ass, whatever it is to hold the pipe up. Mm-hmm. That's not like strong as hell, bro.
Dang.
But yeah, hey y'all.
Hello. Yeah. Welcome.
Well, then we go to Maxie, who's asking a friend about if there's any new guys in town spending a lot of money. And the lady she's talking to says, yeah. What is this lady? Like her pimp or something? She's gets her contracts?
They called her Madame. Madam. But yeah, she's like the head of the whorehouse.
She's a head hoe.
Yeah, pretty much. She's the one that gives out all the digging to the females.
Whenever you guys, if you ever seen that HBO show, was it the Bunny Ranch or whatever?
No,
it's like an old lady. That's the main lady. That's who this person is.
She's the secretary for the hoes.
Well, Maxie asked about if anybody's spending a lot of money recently, and she says, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. There's a guy, there's a big party about to happen up here. I'll give you the address, and I'll get you some invitations. And so she gets them set up. And so her and Maxie and a friend end up going up there to check it out.
Well, I just didn't understand the fact that her friend / roommate even went along with her. Because, like, okay, what if the stuff didn't happen the way that happened? She goes in. What was her friend supposed to just wait in the living room while Max takes this guy over, like, to a different room to suck his dick or to have sex? Like, that's so awkward. Why would she even go in the first place? Like, I don't understand that.
This is how hoes act.
I don't. Because her roommate is not a prostitute. Right. She didn't want to go and things like that. So I don't understand. I felt like they just had to have obviously somebody there to see what happens next. But like, it just didn't really work out.
Well, Maxie and her friend ended up having this conversation about Mike Lowry. And Maxie tells her that if she's ever in trouble, that's the one person she can count on is Mike Lowry. And so they end up going in there and meeting Eddie. And this is...
Hee-haw.
Yeah, he off cocaine or something, man, heroin, he doing something. But Julia, Max's friend, is like, we need to get out of here. I gotta use the restroom. So he tells her it's upstairs. She goes upstairs to use the restroom. And when she does, some guys come in. I guess Eddie didn't hear them coming in. They just let themselves on in. And it turns out to be the guys who were in that whole operation with stealing this heroin. And they see that Eddie has taken a little box from him. Well,
which I guess Eddie just assumed because he was the inside cop, because he was the cop, that he was, I guess, expected some little extra. And that wasn't a part of the plan or the deal.
Well, the main bad guy, Fouché is his name. He sees Max there, Maxie, and she's looking all good, and she introduces herself, and he wants her to model that beautiful dress she's wearing.
You skipped the part where Fouché did a terrible backhand bitch slap to Eddie, which was terrible acting on both parts. Like, the actor who bitch slapped him didn't really play it off, and then the one who got bitch slapped, he did not play it off very well whatsoever. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, she turns around to model this dress, and Fouché closes his eyes like he really didn't want to do it, but he ends up putting his pistol to a pillow and just shooting Max up.
I mean, does it really work, though? Just like muffling the sound of the gun? Because then he
shoots Eddie in the knee without the pillow. Yeah. So it's a moot point. Like, it didn't make sense.
I think he wanted the bullet to be a little softer for Maxie because she's a woman, so...
What?
That's not how that works. Like, a bullet's a bullet.
Shot through a pillow, man. Didn't come out as fast. There was a little bit of resistance there.
It's goose feathers, man. They go slow down bullet.
Just a little bit. Well, yeah, he does end up shooting Eddie in the leg.
Yeah, without the pillow.
Man, you could have waited. You almost messed this deal up. And so he has his guys go ahead and just finish Eddie off. And that's when they notice... old Julia upstairs.
See, that's why you white women. It happened.
Them dumb white women.
It happened in Scream. Oh, lost, bro.
My thing is, this white woman right here, after Max got shot and kind of seen the lowdown, I would have hidden. I would have gone hide. I would have taken my shoes off right then and there. I would have hidden. I wouldn't have been standing where the light's showing the shadow. Like, she was stupid.
Well, she ends up running and climbing onto the roof, man. Like, she's trying to get out of here. And she goes to a little balcony point or like a little bell point or wherever it is. And then the only way down is into the pool. And they start shooting at her. And she just jumps off like Assassin's Creed style.
It took 5 shots. 5 shots. I counted it. They shot at her 5 times, and none of those 5 bullets hit her. And even after hearing the one shot, she still sat there waiting, I guess, to get the nerve to jump into the pool.
How about that?
And then also she had time to take her shoes off. Like, she had one of those strappy heels that you have to sit down and undo the strap buckle. When the hell did she have time? Because they were running after her pretty closely. So...
Well, before the bad guys leave, they end up informing Fouché what happened, and they found Julia's purse, where I guess she has an address book in there. And then the bad boys show up.
Bad boys.
That's when the cops get to the scene later on. Marcus and Mike recognize Eddie, who was an ex-cop. So that gives the inside job away right there. Mike finds 2 shades of lipstick on a glass, which means they're missing somebody from the party. And the captain tells him to go find that person. That's when Marcus discovers Maxie, and he tries to cover it up before Mike gets over there. But Mike takes the cover off and sees that Maxie's dead.
So you think those guys are like awesome detectives where they just go into a crime scene where it's flooded with other cops just looking into other things, and it's just they missed this. Yeah.
What was that
Sherlock
we watched?
Holmes or whatever.
that dang Child's Play where the mom finally come home and there was cops on the couch reading newspapers and shit.
Well, I don't understand because this is Marcus. Marcus has such a diversion to dead bodies. Like, you already seen that with the old guy, with the HVAC guy. I don't understand why he pulled back the tarp to see the woman in general. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, he's not a homicide detective. There was no need for him to pull back to see that it was Max.
Yeah, I thought they were.
No, they're narcotics cops.
Yeah.
Well, even so, he has to bust a case. Like, he needs to know who's dead. That'll make a connection as to who stole what, who
he
did
could have
what.
gotten the information from another cop. Like, he didn't have to.
I don't think it's dead bodies. I think it's the smell that was messing him up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he didn't have a problem when he first found the body. It's just a little bit later on. He goes,
Okay.
Well, Mike said he's gonna talk to the madam and find out what she knows, and he doesn't want Marcus to go in with him.
Which is stupid.
He says it's cool, man. You know, he's a little upset and he wants time to cool off. That's when we see the lady who we're talking about, the madam, at her house, and she's on the phone. All of a sudden, the phone stops working, and then the lights go out.
Yeah, you get the fuck out of there at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So the phone, that's kind of understandable. The phone kind of messes up. You're kind of like, what's going on with this? But the lights go out also.
She didn't do that. She didn't do the cliche thing of when a landline goes out. You got to tap the hang up button a couple times.
That's what she did.
She did do it?
Yeah, she did
okay.
it. Like,
You got to do that. You got to do that.
Gotta make sure that the dial tone and all that stuff.
Yeah, she did that a couple times, but like...
Have you guys given your cub old phone? You'd be like, hey, show us how this works. How you think this works?
Well, he wouldn't know what to do. But then we see a guy walking down the hallway with a sledgehammer. So I don't think she's going to be having a pretty good death.
Ooh, no. Which... That's really fucked up because all the other ones were bullets.
Well, they ran out of bullets shooting up Max. They unloaded in his head and they trying to use the rest of them to shoot that girl. And that's when we have Marcus, who's on the phone with his wife and somebody he needs for the case at the same time. So he's trying to work the case and talk to his wife at the same time. So he's just fucking up talking to both of them. And then the captain comes up, puts his crotch right in Marcus's face. I don't know why he's just standing there like that. Why this shot?
I was just about to say, yeah, I'll be doing that, but I'll be doing my work and then talking to my wife all the time.
Why this shot though? You know, like the captain just comes up there, waist all in Marcus's face sitting right there. They could have backed out so we didn't have to see dude's crotch right next to his ear. Which
I completely missed. I have so many hindsights that I'm like, I'm picking and choosing at this point. I missed the hindsight that Mike and Marcus should have went to the madame's house together. Like, this is such a big bust and something that they did together. I understand he was upset about Max, but they both should have went at the same time.
Yeah, if there's a murder and you think that somebody else might know something about it or they might be taken out later, I'm going with you, bro.
Right.
I ain't leaving you.
The smart thing to do.
Thrown out of a window.
And then I don't understand the wife of Marcus. Like, she's getting upset about quality time, but she married a detective. Like, does she not, like, since there's no backstory, you don't know when they got together or how long that they've been a detective, but like, you would think that she would understand what the job entails and what it kind of takes away from the relationship. But like the whole entire movie, she was just salty about him not being home. It was kind of getting annoying.
Well, they are having some kind of relationship troubles. But then the captain shows up and asks Marcus, where's Lowry at? And he says he's following up on a lead. And then he's talking about the madam. And that's when we go to Mike, who has entered the house where the power's been cut off. He calls for backup immediately, though. So that was a smart thing to do. Mm-hmm. As soon as he goes in, he gets his gun out and flashlight and starts searching. He finds her dead body. But when he does, he's ambushed and thrown out the window.
He wasn't swiveling. And he didn't have his partner there to watch his back.
That's for true.
Well, how good would a Marcus have done if he got thrown? Because I feel like Mike is the more athletic one out of the group. He's the strongest one. He's the fastest one.
I don't know, man.
He's the biggest one.
Most athletic.
Marcus has won the most fights in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's when the detective's office gets a call, and it's Julie. She's calling the captain asking for Mike Lowry. And she only wants to talk to Mike Lowry, nobody else, or she's going to leave town. And so the captain says, oh, okay, he's here, he's right here. And he tells Marcus, you got to be Mike. This is our only witness. She's going to leave town. If you're not Mike, you need to be Mike right now.
So she did call Mike Lowry's desk, correct?
They just called the police department asking for Mike Lowry, and Marcus was the only one there. And Marcus is like, no, I can't do this. I'm not doing this. And the captain says, you won't see your wife for another month. You're Mike Lowry.
Yeah, he was.
That's the funny part because he had to get in the character for Mike Lowry.
And then the captain kept saying, he doesn't talk like that.
Talk sexy. Talk sexy. So they end up planning up a meeting so that he can go meet Julia. And Marcus makes it to Julia's apartment, and she doesn't really trust that he's Mike Lowry. And so he shows the badge through the big ass peephole.
I'm sorry. This is stupid. So she doesn't think and doesn't trust that this guy is Mike Lowry. So she's like, just show me your cop badge. Cop badge doesn't have a picture of the guy, nor the name of the guy.
You can get him for 99 cents, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been like, no, show me your license, your ID that would tell me who you are specifically.
Well, he shows the badge and she lets him in. And as he's walking around, she's like, yeah, right. So she swings a bat at him, but he ends up taking it away from her and getting pissed off. Like, oh, fine. You want to swing a bat at me? Well, go and deal with that shit your own self. Oh, wait. The bad guys probably know where you live at. Good luck.
He doesn't handle this very well.
Man, he handled it perfectly. She want to swing a bat at me. Shit. I'm trying to help your ass out.
No, because she knows that this is not Mike Lowry, and he's got to play it off like he is, and he ain't playing it very well.
Well, she ends up telling him about the Maxie being killed, and so Marcus is like, all right, get your shit together. Let's go.
I really don't like the peephole. Like, that's a massive peephole.
Yeah, that's a big ass peephole.
Like,
like the purpose of a peephole is like let other people know that you may not be home. But then, right? Like,
right.
It's like a...
You're able to see them, but they can't see you.
No, you open this one up, they're going to give them Three Stooges.
Yeah. And then also, do they not have cell phones? Because
no,
it's
he's
95.
paging. Okay, because I was like, they're not communicating, but
95, girl.
I guess it's too old.
The only cell phones they had came either in a whole car or it came in a briefcase.
Well, he tells them get her stuff together, and she puts one dog in a duffel bag, and the other dog just kind of runs off, little Fookie and Dookie. Ain't that what they called?
Luke and Duke.
Oh, my bad. Because he starts calling one Dookie. And so he goes and runs and tries to get the dog. But then we start hearing shotgun and shots and stuff flying. So they got to get out of there as quick as possible because the bad guys did know where they were at. They found that address book earlier. And so they are here now to kill her. But this dude has this Arnold Schwarzenegger combat shotgun ready to come in here from Vietnam. And like, what?
It blows a damn hole so fucking big.
But he still ended up kicking in the door. So what was the purpose of shooting the door?
So I wanted to do some investigating on what gun that was. And I'm sorry, guys, but I couldn't. But I've always wanted that gun. I think it's just an attachment to it.
Well, that combat shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. That's the one they had in Jurassic Park, ain't it?
Yeah. I thought it was just one that there's like, oh, you can just go get it. It looks like this. Because I think this is the one that they had in 007.
007.
Was that it?
Oh, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know.
Goldeneye?
I don't know. The shotgun seems unnecessary in this situation. Yeah. You're going to kill one lady. Like, why do you bring that? I don't know. But Marcus starts firing back, and he's able to kill the one guy with the shotgun. And he's able to grab the dog. Marcus and Julia are able to get away from the killers. And the fat gangster asks the little one if he was able to get the license plate. And he says, yeah. So they got the license plate of Marcus's, what was that? That's got to be his car, right?
Yeah, his hatchback.
So they know they're going to trace that back to the address. So we're in trouble now.
Yep.
But as they're driving, Marcus wants to take her to the police custody and take her into protective custody. And she's like, no, I'm not going to police. I don't trust the police. And Marcus is saying, that was only one guy that was bad in there. We got him. We let him go months ago. You'll be safe. And she's like, nope, I don't want it. I'm not doing it. Because if you take me, I'm starting to get amnesia right now. I'm starting to forget some stuff. And he's like, well, damn it, where do you want to go? And she said, well, if I got to be in custody, I might as well be at your place. In-house police custody. So Marcus decides to drive her to Mike's place. And he's able to get in by talking to the doorman.
It makes sense, but it's kind of weird at the same time. Like, I understand why she's so weird about trusting all the other cops, but I don't know. I don't know if that would have been my choice.
Well, he gives up Mike's apartment, the doorman does, after some finagling.
Well, the doorman believes that he's brought the female here to fuck her pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, but Marcus is like, it ain't like that, okay? It ain't like that. So they go up into the apartment. They finally get up there, and Marcus can't find the light switches because, well, this ain't his place.
Nice house.
Yeah, he falling all over the floor, tripping over everything, trying to make excuses as, I keep rearranging stuff, so I don't know where the light things are at. And then the answer machine comes on, and some girl leaving a freaky message.
Vivian or
for him. He's still looking for stuff, tripping over things. She hits the light switch. He's trying to explain, hey, I got all this money. Sometimes switch stuff over here. I'll put the sink over there. And he's trying. He's trying to ad lib.
He ain't doing very well. And then also, if she's here, that's fine. But he should have gotten, I don't know, another cop, somebody to be able to watch the door, watch like something to have this as a legit like protective. What was it? Witness protective program or whatever it's called.
Protective custody.
He just left her there on her own.
Well, Marcus is sure that she's safe. She's in safe hand. She can trust him. And now with the bad guys, they know more. Marcus tells the doorman, hey, keep an eye out. She's a witness to an important case. Just keep it on the low. Just tell me if anything happens. And when Mike gets here, tell him, don't go upstairs. Don't let him upstairs. Call me. And the doorman's like, "What? It's his place. I can get fired." He said, "Trust me. Just call me. Call me at home." So Marcus gets home, and his wife says that you smell like perfume, and you don't even have your wedding ring on. And he tries to explain that he was undercover, and it was in his pocket the whole time. But she ain't having none of it.
Because the way that he's acting, I mean, like, if he would have been, like, straight up honest, straightforward, then that's understandable. But, like, he's tripping over his words. Like, you can tell he's trying to come up with a lie. Like, that... I can see why she got upset.
Could you?
Yeah, because he's tripping over his words. Like, just be honest. Don't like, yes, he said that he was undercover, but like, go further with it and explain. Like, telling her ain't going.
She's not supposed to know. But I mean, like at this point, you're already thinking that the bad guys are going to go after Marcus's family anyway.
Which he didn't call that in and have anybody watching his house.
But he wouldn't know that. He wouldn't think that these guys are smart enough to do that. Well, comes later, but...
Well, the next day, Marcus gets in touch with Mike, who was holding the ice pack on the back of his head. And Marcus is telling him, Mike, where the hell you been at? You don't got beat up. He don't give a damn. And he's just going in on him about the girl. He's like, man, I got shot at. I had to sleep on the couch. And yeah, he's just telling him all the shit that he had to go through.
He said he woke up with a Power Ranger stuck up his ass or something like that. But it seems like, once again, all their interactions are them bickering. Like, it's kind of a little tiresome at this point already.
Well, Marcus said he wants to meet the man who whipped your ass so he can shake his hand. And he's talking about his wife done kicked him out the damn house. You done kicked me out of a happy home, Mike. And then Mike's telling him he sound like a nagging old bitch or something like that.
Nagging wife.
Yeah. Well, the captain is upset that about the shootout that happened because he only told him to secure a witness. That's it. Marcus says that the whole situation is getting out of control.
Is this where they were on the basketball court and the captain was trying to shoot balls and he did not hit any?
So they fill Mike in about the situation about the witness at his place, and the captain's kind of upset that Marcus left the witness by herself at Mike's place, and Mike is upset that a hooker is in his house, and Marcus is like, she ain't a hooker, man. And the captain says he's had enough. I've had enough.
But at that point in time, the captain knew, they all three knew that this woman is at Mike's house. None of them still called to get extra cops.
To like watch the house.
To watch the condo or like do like a drive-by.
Well, you know who they got? They got Chet the doorman.
Oh my gosh.
Keep an eye on everything.
He says, I had enough. Marcus, you're going to be Mike. Mike, you're going to be Mike, just not around her. And then they realize they have 4 days before the drop happens. Mike says that he'll stay at Marcus's house in the meantime, and Marcus says it's not that easy, man, to be in a house with them kids and his wife and all that stuff. We ain't the Cosbys. And he gets home and he's packing, and his wife is upset about the whole thing
because he's telling her that he's going to Cleveland. Like, what in the hell? Why is he not able to explain anything? Like, that's not going to ruin his job or the case or anything.
It might.
But let me ask y'all this. This is the most important thing. Is that how is Mike liar? affording a place like that in Miami on a cop's salary.
You missed the fact that his parents died and ended up getting him, what's it called? Inheritance?
Yeah.
Because they explain at the very beginning with his...
as not getting you a $6-7 million place that looks like that where you have a doorman and everything.
Well, he's able to pay $105,000 for a small ass car, so
that Porsche, baby.
he got money.
Shit. Is that how much they cost back in 1995?
Well, that's what it said at the very beginning, because Marcus was ragging on him about because that was at the very beginning, because he was eating his fast food and they had no cup holders, and he's like, how the hell you gonna have this luxury car and ain't got no cup holders? And then he was like, it's $105,000 limited edition, blah 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 blah.
It was limited edition. But Marcus is still arguing with his wife, and Mike keeps cutting in every now and then, and Marcus is getting tired of it. He's like, go downstairs, get us something to drink. I'm trying to talk to his wife again, and Mike comes back. What do you want? You want anything to drink? Yeah, Mike. Just give me go have a Coke and a smile, okay? A Coke and a smile. So we get to the bad guy's lair, or wherever they are, and they're cooking these drugs up. And the guy is upset because his little scientist or whatever is telling him that we're going to be off our timetable because it's too moist in here. The drugs aren't cooking properly.
Well, it looked like it was in like an abandoned railroad underneath a railroad track or something. Something weird.
Well, it was too moist, and he was pissed off about it.
It's a cliche 90s hideout.
So Marcus goes in and checks on Julie, and she asks him, who's this guy you got all these photographs of? And he's like, oh, that's my partner, Marcus Burnett. And she's like, oh, I've never seen anything like this before. And he said, oh, okay, I got a picture for every time he saved my life. And she thought that he was gay.
Right. He took offense to that. Like, he was very like, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when y'all were both single and living on your own or as a roommate, did you ever have a wall of pictures of yourselves?
Man,
Yeah,
we
I
was
had-
living single. We ain't had no damn place of our own. What do you mean?
Yeah, I
You
had,
guys had-
shirtless pictures of Brandon all over.
Yeah, you guys,
Every
well,
time
y'all
I say it, it's like-
roommated together, but like, I just don't see single men just putting because it was a lot of pictures. Like, there was like a good 30-40 picture
I'll
frames
tell
of
you this.
himself.
I'll rather put pictures up of other people, but I'm not putting up pictures of myself.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's kind of weird. I personally wouldn't do it.
Well,
It's
later
kinda
on, Marcus and Julie are going over mug shots while he's eating this sandwich with a bologna in it, and she's a vegetarian, so she's a little disgusted by it. And he says, you got a name for that or something? He's like, yeah, my bologna has a first name. And she says probably has 30 other names because it's odd parts from a bunch of different animals: hooves, stomach lining, ears, stuff like that. They put in a machine, grind it all up. Then Marcus is kind of thinking about it, and he's like, yeah, you know
He is
what?
grossed out.
Can I eat the pickle? He's like, yeah, I might have some salt, high in salt or something, but yeah. So he dips the pickle in his drink, and he's like, is that okay? Is that good? Can I have the pickle? So then we go to Mike Lowry, who's explaining in depth one of his busts to the kids at Marcus's house, like all the details, and the kids hearing everything. The next day at the detective's office, Marcus is saying that he's tired. He don't want to do this witness thing anymore. He said he got married so that he can quit lying. When Mike says, you got it easy compared to me, living in as a zoo, and Marcus gets upset because he calls his house a zoo, and Mike realizes that Marcus is wearing his silk shirt. And the assistant gives them some file. Mike says he has to call the wife, and Marcus says, what wife? And that's when the two other detectives come up joking on him. And Marcus says, that's enough. Not today. Today's not the day. So Mike is talking to Marcus's wife like he's the married one. And she actually hangs up, but Mike starts playing on the phone saying, oh yeah, what you gonna do tonight? What you wearing tonight? And Marcus gets upset. He's like, I'm sorry, she hung up. So, they still got a little playful nature with him, man. It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good teamwork here.
I just seen it as another bickering session.
My goodness. Well, Marcus and Mike go up to Julie, and they introduce Mike Lowry, Marcus, who's playing Marcus, to Julie as Marcus. It's just weird. It's
just
hard
backwards.
to explain. But he notices a stain on his rug, and Marcus says, I told her not to clean it. because I was gonna get rid of it, just throw it out anyway.
He mad.
Yes,
He mad
he
as
sees
hell.
all the stains, and she talks about the dog crawling all over the bed, the couch, and he's been diarrhea and puking. Oh yeah, he is upset.
It'll piss me off too.
Well, before then, they started talking about the club, which Julie already knew that they were going to go to the club, but she assumed that she was going to go with them. But I'm like, why in the hell would you tell her what y'all doing? Like, that's not her business. Her business is to stay her ass at home and stay safe. Like, she don't need to know where they're going and all that crap.
Well, while the real Mike is talking to her, a sexy black lady comes in.
Ooh, bro, she nice.
Yeah, just in bra and panties. And Marcus like, no, you got to get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. And he pushes her out. And I guess it was a masseuse that was going to come over and help out old Mike Lowry. Yeah, and Marcus kicked her ass out.
And he mad. Marcus is mad.
So he
Or
goes
Mike's
to
mad.
he goes to the actual Mike, and I was like, yeah, crazy ass Yvette had to kick it out. Like he tried to run to the door.
She already gone.
You talking about the masseuse? She masseuses stuff.
Yeah, well, she gone. So Marcus and Mike have decided they're going to go to this nightclub that they found out about, and they're going to go and, just do some surveillance, see what's up.
Well, I think at that point with the whole Yvette, because Yvette ended up saying, like, who are you? Like, who's this? I think that's when Julie started being like, okay, I'm being lied to. Like, I think it kind of got a thought bubble going on in her head with that.
Well, they make it to the nightclub, and Marcus and Mike, they're going in search of this guy who was out shooting that Julie had identified through the mugshots. Well, Marcus and Mike go into the club, and somehow one of the bad guys spots him from up top. Out of all those people, he just
I don't
notices
get it.
Marcus.
I'm gonna let you guys know this. I know you guys have never been to a club to meet people or whatever. I've been to one of these spots where you can go up and you can look for people. Bro, there's no singling somebody out. I was looking for Andre, Sammy, Jonathan. I had tall people. I was like, bro, okay, he's tall, so he's gonna be towering above it. I couldn't identify nobody, bro. Nobody.
Well, they did it. They noticed Marcus.
Which we skipped the part where there was the truck waiting outside of the club and the guy was about to light up a cigarette and the other dude was saying that there's ether in there, like it's flammable, like your job is to just sit here, make sure you don't get towed. My first question is ether a liquid or is that like, what is that?
Yeah, it's a liquid.
Okay.
So Marcus goes to the restroom.
They split up.
Give
That's
a little
stupid to me.
No, man, you gotta divide and conquer.
That's right. So some guy walks up next to him, right next to the urinal he's in.
That's a no. Women, that's a no.
That seems weird as hell. And
That's
like
the first sign.
Marcus is like looked at him and then came back and then like kind of like what up type of thing. Like I feel like if you're peeing, that's not something that you talk to the dude next to you.
Yeah, no,
it's weird as fuck.
The only time it happened to me, dude looked down and I was like, "Nice watch." I wasn't wearing a watch.
So get the fuck out.
Yeah, man, get the fuck away from me, man.
I mean, like, can you even? I mean, like, I'm not going there. Never mind. Never mind. Weird.
It's like a woman sitting next to you. Nice roast beef. Or whatever.
Is that what they do?
I feel like I don't know. I mean, I am a woman, so like if I ever like get into a man's body, like switch or whatever, like Freaky Friday thing, I feel like even I would go into a stall. Like I'm not about to whip my shit out in front of other dudes like that. I don't know.
Well, there's another bad guy who's around the corner, and Marcus ends up seeing him through the reflection.
Because he ain't paying attention to him peeing. He's looking everywhere. The mirror is behind him.
Little black dude, you gotta look everywhere you can while you're using the bathroom. Man. You never know somebody gonna come up and try to grab you and do stuff. We don't know.
Still weird. Weird as hell.
So he ends up seeing the guy's reflection, and so he pulls out his gun and it's like, "What's up now, motherfucker?" But the guy who was next to him in the urinal ends up putting a plastic bag over his head.
Where was he hiding that at?
In his pocket.
Where he had a little, what was it, a little, god damn it.
Vest?
No, a holster for a gun, but he just had a bag in it. He's known as a suffocator. ready to take people out anytime. So yeah, he ends up putting that thing over his head, and Marcus has ended up fighting for his life here. And he's got Marcus up in the air, like just choking a mess out of him. And Marcus is able to kick the guy with the knife in the head and get the bag off of his head by beating up the other dude. But he ends up throwing Marcus through the goddamn
Fish
aquarium. Yeah, and that's when Mike finally realizes that Marcus is getting the hell beat out of him.
He is literally in front of this dancer, just looking at her shoe, like just so enthralled with her. Like, he's such a horn dog. Like, he's supposed to be on a mission searching for this dude, and he's just so all about like.
Hey, he's a bachelor, man. You gotta think about one thing.
It's so stupid.
Well, Marcus's gun gets loose, and the bad guy ends up grabbing it and pulling the trigger. And that's when Marcus beats the hell out of him and says, next time learn how to use the safety with your punk ass.
Which, this guy's a bad guy. I would think that he would know about safeties on guns, right? Like,
I'm sure he's about to die, life or death, whatever. Click, click, I don't know, don't work. But the fight's over with, and they have to get out of there before more bad guys show up. So they run off into that truck you were talking about earlier.
No, you skipped the part where they went back into the crowd, and that's when they noticed Julie, because she's searching around, looking around, and then once again, the other bad guy ended up sees her. So she pulls out the gun, and then that's when Marcus ends up coming and pushing her hand down, but it still went off.
Yeah,
where the hell did that go to?
She saw somebody that.
Somebody did.
Somebody hurt.
Yeah, so that's when they all three ran out to the stupid ether truck. And where was their car at? I would think that either of them had cars. Like, why did they chose the stupid truck?
First one available, I guess. They're getting shot at. So they start this whole police chase, man, down this interstate. And while they're driving, Marcus smells something, and Julie sees that it's ether, very flammable in the back. And that's when the bad guys start blasting at the truck. So Mike starts blasting back, and they have to take a turn because they would have hit an 18-wheeler that's going down. They would have hit them straight ahead. So they end up going down this blocked road, and Marcus is like, man, hey, we're running out of road up here. And so Mike has a good idea. He throws the ether out at the car behind him and starts shooting at the barrel, so it starts exploding. I think the flames may just distract the drivers, and it causes them
right around that shit. But y'all know how much those damn barrels weigh?
I don't know, probably a lot. Would be thinking.
Yeah, they probably about 500 pounds.
Oh, I didn't think that much.
Yeah, and he's just tossing them. Yeah, just easily, just with his hands, picking them up and tossing them.
And then
it's
also,
cool. I don't know how much ether weighs, but if it's anything like water, right?
Then you don't know it's 500 pounds.
But my thing would have been, if they were all on the same crew, then they would know about the ether inside the truck, because that's what they cut the heroin with. So I don't like, it wouldn't be smart for the bad guys to shoot at the truck, because then what they're cutting with gets destroyed. So
but then they also kill the guys that's trying to
steal it.
No, they're trying to kill the guys that could possibly send them to jail.
Yeah, so I guess it would.
Well, two barrels roll up against the car and traps the bad guys inside of it and explodes, burning them alive. What a terrible death. And then a news chopper comes down, spots the whole thing, and sees them on the bridge.
Is this the second interaction with the shootout? Well, I guess the one with Mike, and no, because the one with Mike at Marcus's, or not at Marcus's apartment, at Julie's apartment, he shot somebody dead. Like, they keep killing people. I mean, yes, they're bad guys, but like,
people gonna die.
They keep killing people.
That's what Marcus says. So I was gonna add this to your body count. So they go inside this convenience store, and this Indian and Afghanistan dude is at the counter, and he notices the girl walk in, catches his eye. And then he sees Marcus and Mike go in, and he's like, okay. But then he notices their weapons. Mike and Marcus realize that there's too much ether in there for nobody to know nothing about it. So they want to go back and visit old Jojo, the guy with the tires, and pay him a little visit to see what he really knows. And so they're about to leave, they're about to check out, and the cashier whips out a gun on them and tells them, freeze, motherfishers.
Oh, he said mother bitches.
And he pulled out a desert eagle.
Fucking desert eagle.
A god dang desert eagle.
Well, did you see that he had like 4 other handguns lined up?
Bro, why are you using that desert eagle? And he aims at both Marcus and Mike, and they try to explain to him that they're police officers, but he ain't trying to hear about it. And he's like, well, I'm going to reach for my badge. And he's like, you want a badge? I got a badge right here, 99 cents. And then that's when Julie's like, I've had enough of this. So she walks out and he's like, bitch, don't move, bitch. And this motherfucker, perfect time, distractions is what Marcus and Mike use perfectly. They pull out their guns and say, you don't move, bitch. Give me a pack of them gums over there.
Bubblicious and some Skittles.
Yeah. So
they just robbed.
Well, he said...
I imagine they pay for it.
Well, the what is it? Arabic, Indian, whatever nationality this guy is. He said that he killed before, but he's so shaky.
He lying. He just won't sound big and tough. But they make it back to Mike's place where Marcus is sitting on the bed with Julie and she's having these feelings, about wanting to get some. And Marcus realized what she's talking about. And he's like, oh, yeah, you don't want none of this. Okay, not this guy. Meanwhile, Mike is going through Marcus's old photo album with his wife laughing at him. And Julie starts asking about Marcus's wife, saying that I bet she's enjoying the smoothness of Mike Loud or Marcus right now. Cause that guy's just so smooth. So she's putting shit in Marcus's head, making him think certain things. So he's like, nah, don't worry about it. So Marcus ends up giving them a call. And at the time that Mike is taking the picture out of the photo album, and he's like, I got to show this. I got to keep this right here. That's when she answers a call and she's like, Mike, put it back in. Marcus is going to kill us.
That's the damn wrong time.
Man, it was terrible. It was terrible. So Marcus gets upset. He takes Julie. He said, we got to go somewhere now. I got to go check on something. So they drive to his house and he handcuffs Julie to the steering wheel. He goes to sneak into his own house to see what's going on. But that's when we see Mike, who calls the other two detectives, Sanchez and Ramirez, I think, and telling them about the stakeout. So Mike has spotted these guys who were watching Marcus's house, and they found out where Marcus lives because of the license plate earlier. So Mike is a little 2-3 steps ahead of him, but then Marcus, they're watching Marcus trying to break into this house, and they're like, what the hell is going on? We can go ahead and try to kill this guy. So he actually tries to break into a house. He ends up falling off of this windowsill and breaking some shit. And that's when they hear it. Mike comes out to attack Marcus because he thinks he's a burglar. So they wrestle around for a while until they realize, hey, it's each other. We shouldn't be fighting. And Marcus is upset because he thinks he's messing with his wife. But Mike's like, bro, I'll never do that to you. I'm your partner. I've been your partner for 6 years. I've been your boy my whole life, is what he says. And he would never betray him. And Marcus says, yeah, I get, not having this quality time will mess with your mind, man. So I guess Marcus is getting messed up not having sex for so long. So Marcus apologizes and says he ain't had a quality time in a while and, makes you do some dumb shit. And this time, while they're fighting, the hitmen they're like, yeah, let's go kill them both. But the two detectives have already got them and busted them.
Yeah.
Boom. So the next day, the FBI or DEA has asked the captain where there were phone calls made from the precinct to the club. And then Sanchez and Ruiz, that's what Ruiz, are trying to get a name out of the hitman that they had arrested the night before. And they do get a name. His name is Fouché. Well, later on, we see that Julie is handcuffed to the steering wheel again. And saying she's getting tired of it, but she almost blew the whole case whenever her dumbass went to the fucking club for no reason.
Yep. Trying to shoot some fucking... Come on, bro.
So I see why they handcuffed her, but they're at JoJo's tire shop, and he sees Marcus, and he just takes off running. But that's when Mike ambushed him, and they end up getting him at gunpoint, and they do this little bad cop, good cop thing where Marcus acts like he's scared. Mike is like, I'm going to kill this dude, and so he scares JoJo into telling him what he knows. So he tells him everything he knows. JoJo has an address for him, and the guy who's making the heroin for the bad guy. So they go up to the address later that night and they do a stakeout. And as they're doing the stakeout, Julie's with them and Marcus is really irritable. She suggests that he's not having enough sex. And Mike says, I can't believe she went there. And she's,
who you are.
Yeah, you know who you talking about? That's Mike Lowry over there. The King Dingaling. Won't you whip it out for him, big boy? And Marcus says, yeah. Right on your forehead.
And then also, they legitimately are staking out the front of the house. Like, they're not, like, down the ways or anything. Like, they're in front of the house.
Well, the next morning, they see a vehicle leave the house that they were staking out, which is weird, though, because It's weird that they weren't spotted. They're spotted in the club. Somebody picked them out of millions of people, or thousands, and not millions, that's really exaggeration, at least hundreds of people, and nobody saw the one car outside the fucking house.
I don't know. All night long.
But they end up going down, following the car to this old ship where they figure this is where the drugs are made. And Marcus is about to call back up, but Mike says, we can't do that because Sinclair has the whole station tapped. Sinclair is the lady from the DEA or FBI, so they have to do this in person. And while they're looking at binoculars, they take a look at the bad guys, and he's looking right at them.
Yeah.
Like he's looking right into the camera at this point.
Right.
He's not supposed to know they're there, but the actor is looking right directly at them.
Right.
And it's so stupid. Like, why did y'all not do the scene over again?
I don't understand. Like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't
know. They would have seen that he was looking right at them, especially when Julie seen
Oh, yeah.
them
And
too.
Julie wants to take a look, and I don't know why they let her. Mike's like, it can't hurt. Take a look. And then so Mark says, yeah, I can't hurry up. But her dumbass stands up and looks at him. And that's when they do see her, and that they do acknowledge that the character now knows that they're watching. So it made sense then. But before, it was just so dumb. He's just looking at him like,
yeah.
Is it action? Are we doing it? Rolling? What are we doing here? Just looking at him. That's so stupid. So he does notice them. They are over there. And that's when we see a news recording of Marcus telling a helicopter to get out of here. And his wife sees it, and she's upset that he lied to her.
The kids were flipping through the TV, and that's when they seen it. And that's when they yelled for the mom. And they're like, well, didn't Dad say he was in Cleveland? And that's when the mom's like, he wished he was, or something along those lines.
Back at Mike's place, they're getting prepared for this attack. And Marcus is getting the guns ready, and Julie notices where he keeps the handcuffs key, and she takes it. And as they're getting ready, we see Marcus's wife coming up the stairs. Doorbell rings, and Julie answers the door, and it's Marcus's wife.
Well, she completely disregarded Chet, because Chet, the doorman, but the guy from the very front desk or whatever, is yelling after her. She completely ignores him. And then Julie's like, oh, that must be Chet with my veggie burger. But like, she's supposed to be in custody, like protective custody, but like she didn't open through the peep door just to make sure that it is Chet. Like nothing. She just straight up opened the door, and then she didn't close the door when she seen that it wasn't Chet with her burger. She's just like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, she says, "I'm here to kill Marcus." And Julie's like, "Is it the tall one or the short one?" And she said, "The short one." And Julie's like, "Yeah, kind of figured."
I think she figured it when I said the last time, but she really caught on when she was in bed with real Marcus and kind of fucking with him with the wife.
Yeah. Well, Marcus sees the wife and he don't know what to do. They're trying to explain. He's like, yeah. And then Mike sees her and he's like, ooh. So they really can't explain nothing. She ain't trying to hear nothing. She's over it. And she's like, y'all can have fun with whatever y'all doing. So she's about to walk out, but Julie had already walked out before this.
Right.
So Mike had went after her.
Right.
And now Marcus and his wife are coming next.
Which I just don't understand. Just tell the truth.
Stupid, man.
Like, just tell the
you're
truth.
in protective custody. Why are you leaving the house?
I don't. Well, she's saying that if his wife can come and find them, which she already knows where Mike lives anyways. So like, it was kind of stupid for her reasoning of like, well, if she can find us, then anybody can find us. And that's why she's like, I'm better off on my own.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of dumb. Because they are friends, been friends for a long time. But Julie walks out, and Mike chases after. They get down to the lobby area, and he's trying to like, hey, I'm sorry we had to lie to you because, we didn't want to lose you. And that's when the bad guys start coming in the door.
And they all see each other, but they're in this weird like limbo, just staring at each other, waiting for one of them to pull a gun.
Hey,
like,
that's real life.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Real life. Like people stop and there's these pauses. Certain people will notice it. And it's like you're stuck in time. They're just in there thinking what their next move is. It's weird stuff. I noticed that at work the other day. But anyways.
Okay.
It
so
shouldn't
it is
happen.
realistic. So it's like realistic wise.
It's only realistic because people are retarded. Yeah, they're just weird. I don't know what's going on when that happens. I want to interject and be like, can we move forward? What are y'all guys doing?
Is
a commercial break?
Or does Chet and JoJo kind of look alike?
Oh, you racist, man. You racist.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Not all Italian guys look alike, man.
I didn't think Chet was Italian. I don't think JoJo's Italian either. I don't think either one of them.
JoJo's Italian.
JoJo's Italian?
Yeah, he was cast in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
That does.
And
Oh,
he's
he
got
looked
that Sopranos nose.
he kind of looked Hispanic a little bit.
You look a little racist.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways.
It was like Arabic or something.
Yeah, you might be. Anyways, bad guys show up. They pull out guns and start blasting. Marcus grabs his wife and tackles her back into the elevator while Mike tries to take cover. Julie's in the middle of the floor, so nobody can really get to her except for the bad guys who are blasting, and they end up grabbing her. While Mike starts trying to shoot back, which doesn't make sense because he could have hit Julie.
Yeah.
But he starts giving chase. And dude,
On foot.
This is the thing, though, is that every single movie back in the day, Will Smith was either shirtless or had his regular shirt on, like a workout shirt, and just running full sprint.
Right.
In a lot of his movies, man. Bad Boys, Men in Black.
yeah, he chased down a Clartesian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's that one
He was
where
in a tank top on that one.
There you go. And then what was the one where he was like a spy,
Enemy of the state.
enemy of the state? He was doing that same thing. Every single movie back in the 90s, he was running like that.
Well, I just don't understand. The three bad guys and Julie, they got into a truck, whatever, Ford truck, whatever the hell that thing is called. But like Mike is running after them full sprint. Like that's not realistic.
If he can chase down a Clartesian,
This,
okay.
like, this
I
motherfucker
don't know if
can't
that's the real
run.
name of it, but
I'm assuming the truck's going 50, 60 miles an hour. Like, there's no way. Like,
Well, he knew
he'd be
the
able to
route.
Run.
He knew the route it was going, so
Stupid.
he's taking shortcuts. But Marcus ends up trying to give his wife a gun, like, hold this, take this, get back upstairs. And he tries to go help out Mike, which Mike is already pursuing these guys who have end up wrecking, and they, in a Ford Bronco, a nice black one, so they take off on foot. This police chase goes into some random directions. They end up running into a photography scene,
Which-
an old lady's salon.
Did you notice when they went down the stairs right before the photography, like after they run through the glass like doors and they go through and they run down the stairs, Julie ends up falling like on her knees. I'm surprised she didn't scrape up unless it's whatchamacallit. Was it the person? What's it called?
Stunt double.
Yes, unless it's like the stunt double that did that.
Well, they end up running past some handicapped basketball players. This is just the randomest shit. But at the time, Marcus is able to catch up with them, and he jumps on top of the cab that they're about to steal and get away in. They start trying to blast at him, and they end up running into something to throw Marcus off the front of it. And while he's trying to get up, they reverse the cab, and they're about to take him out. But we see Mike running in slow motion and saves him just in time. Like, this was a suspenseful police chase, man. It was there. It was action. It was random stuff. You couldn't keep your eyes off of it because you took your eyes off of it, you're missing something. I'm surprised there wasn't a midget with some balloons somewhere. This is crazy.
So unrealistic, but go on.
But they both stand up, and it's this iconic bad boy shot of Marcus and Mike standing up, and the camera's going around them. And that's just like, I don't know, that's just like the bad boys shot of them two. Well, they make it back to the apartment, and Mike gets a call from Fouchette, and he is telling him that he killed the chemist who fucked up his timetable, and there's another bullet for the girl. So Sinclair comes to their office and tells Mike and Marcus and the captain that they've been taken off this. And the captain says, we're not walking away from this. I don't care what she says. The deal goes down in 4 hours. You know, you guys, you got 2 hours to find him. It's time to get lucky.
I always thought this guy was Bill Burr.
You know,
The white guy?
Yeah.
he does kind of sound like him in some things, but he was in The Matrix with he was supposed to be Will Smith in The Matrix.
Oh. I just don't understand why Fouchaw, whatever his name is, even called them. Like, that was just so unnecessary. Like, I get that he's calling to be like, hey, Julie.
no, wait, stop.
Yep.
She's about to say, I don't get why he did that. And then she's going to explain why he did that.
But it's
Go
just
ahead.
Stupid.
Why?
Like, it's just stupid. Like, I understand he called to let them know like, because he's like, I'm going to threaten her life or whatever. But like, he still could have easily fucking killed her anyways. Like, she's just collateral damage.
But
like,
then they
he's a
would've-
bad guy. He killed his chemist. Like, if he's going to kill a chemist, this witness, like, fucking kill her.
But then they would have gone after her even harder. Like if I
would
called and
know.
say, hey, stay away, or I got a bullet for her. And they'd be like, oh, okay, we'll slow down, big guy, all right? We'll slow down.
But they obviously didn't.
Well, it doesn't matter but what they did.
It just seems...
It matters that he did it for a reason. Like, you want them to stay back.
True.
Let me not do it and kill her, and now they're pissed off even more than ever, and they're going to come at me harder than they fucking could.
Yeah, because they have no interest of staying back.
But now they're like, well, we got a 4-hour timetable because we got to get this bus, but also they're going to kill her. So now they're still going after them, still just as hard.
Well, they end up getting a prisoner out of jail to hack this system.
I know.
And Marcus is...
Thick ass glasses, too.
Marcus is giving him a hard time. And Marcus is like, hurry the hell up. And he stands up and is like, hey, man, why don't you just back off? And he is like 8 foot tall, looking down at Marcus.
And they got the camera looking down at him. Shut your ass up. Do that work, I'm going to knock your ass out.
Yeah, Marcus wasn't scared. You better hurt your ass.
You take them damn handcuffs off, and he'd be like, oh, you know what?
Well, they had, 4 days at the beginning of the movie, correct? 4 days. Why in the hell did they not just automatically get this guy out of jail? Like, why are they waiting until they have only 2 hours?
Because it wasn't crucial.
At this point.
Because they didn't get that call.
4 hours is crucial. Or 4 days.
Is anybody ever even thinking about the dogs that's just roaming around Mike Lowry's house?
No, Chet ended up getting them because she had them downstairs with him when the shootout. And then when Chet was calling the police, he had the dogs in his hands.
I didn't notice that part, but okay.
Well, they're trying to break into Eddie Dominguez, the cop who was the bad guy on the inside. They're trying to break into his file, and they end up doing it, and they figure out he had a relationship with an assistant there.
Which is the one that was cracking the damn files, or supposed to be cracking the files in the first place.
And so they interrogate her, and she tells them about the French guy, and they took some terrible photos of her, and they told her that they would post them on her child's school's bulletin board if she didn't listen to them.
It's the first OnlyFans, guys.
And she says that here's their mobile number, and she says she'll make it up to you, Mike. She'll do whatever it takes.
She gonna make it up by going to jail.
So that's when they call the bad guys. Is Romeo there? No, ain't no Romeo here. He starts laughing, but he made that call so they can get the signal, and they start tracking it immediately.
Okay, so this was a legit tracking, like GPS. They know their exact coordinates, correct?
I don't know.
Because
maybe within like 10 feet.
Okay, so it's broad, like they're already at the drop-off area. So when the chief ended up saying that he needs to call in a favor and to get all of the helicopters, to get everybody that needs to know, but he doesn't know where the location's at, just going northwest. But when they tracked it, I assumed that they knew the location.
I didn't think, like honestly, I think this is kind of like weird because I don't think tracking was that precise back in the day. Because the 90s, man, it wasn't good service, man.
Well, they were en route too, so they didn't have a location yet when they did get the signal. But Marcus and Mike headed out, and they see Ramirez and Ruiz. Ramirez. I don't know, these two damn detectives. They tell them that they, we got a job for you, man, but you might end up dying. And they was like, shoot, let's do it. So they end up going out to this abandoned airport where we see the captain doing what you said, calling all forces, all cars. Well, the bad guy's talking to the buyer, and he says he's going to give them 2 wire transfers totaling $180 million and 20 in cash. The detectives see if there's a way to get in. They see no easy approach, and that's when they see a trash truck, and they're like, hey, I got an idea. And at this point, I thought that they were just going to, roll up there and be like, hey, we got trash. Let's get some trash here. Nah, they just
grab a damn trash truck
and just ran it through the wall. Like, why did they change clothes? They put on dumpster clothes like you were dumpster people. I don't understand.
Hey, action movies for simpletons. There we go. We don't need to know what's going on.
What's happening?
Well, and then before when they got inside because Mike and Marcus got inside the actual dumpster and the other two were driving or in the passenger seat. But he's just like, Mike ended up saying, my shit always works. What was he talking about? Was he talking about like the guns that was in his Porsche or... I didn't understand. I didn't understand what he was talking about. Don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I must have missed that too. I don't know. I didn't get that one.
Okay. And then they end up starting doing a shootout, but the actors were just not good.
Immediately, Fouché shoots the buyer right in the heart.
Damn.
And he's already...
He grabs the wrong part that he shot, too.
I know. It was like off to the side of his body.
He's already confirmed that the wire transfer has been completed, so I guess he got the guy's money, so he doesn't really need him around.
Did he think that it was, what's the word? Double... Was it?
You double dip the chicken.
What the hell is it when like
Double jeopardy.
No.
Double trouble.
Oh no.
No,
like okay, so we got a deal, but I fucked
Double
you
cross.
over. Yes, double cross. Did he? I wonder if he thought the guy double crossed
Maybe.
him.
Guess it didn't matter though. The detectives are shooting at the henchmen, all the expendable guys, which we got to have them. We got to have them in movies. We got to have guys that are getting killed, and
They weren't good. The one that was on the airplane, they ended up. He started falling backwards before he actually got shot. Like. They're just
Julie
not good
ends
actors.
up breaking out of her handcuffs with the key she had took from the house earlier.
It's not the same handcuffs.
And she starts the car that she's in and drives into a barrel of ether and ditches a car, causing an explosion.
Stupid.
Marcus and Mike are eliminating the goons, and they're getting closer to Fouché. And Fouché sees Julie, and right when he's about to shoot her, Marcus ends up tackling her and saves her, and he gets shot in the leg. Well, it saves her from getting shot, which causes Marcus to be fucked up. But Julie helps him up, and they're still in fighting. And one of the bad guys has gotten onto the airplane, and Marcus sees the ether below him. And right when he starts aiming at him,
we got your boarding pass, motherfucker.
Yeah, and he shoots and explodes. And he goes flying out of it.
Stupid phrase.
Which causes the whole place to go up in flames, while the fat gangster who has this shotgun going around blowing everybody up almost kills Luis and Ramirez, but
Mike ended up saving him, right?
Yeah, Mike ends up saying something clever and then shoot him into this electrical blocks, and he starts getting electrocuted.
So at this point, you're a cop, and you're seeing all this cash just getting blown sky high. Are you trying to put something in your damn jacket?
I think I'd be more concerned about my life at the
I'm
moment.
Take care of the bad guys first, and then I might start, pocketing a little here and there. But Fouché gets on the plane, and he steals the buyer's little special roadster car. And Mike tries to give pursuit and jumps on the car.
He's running like a motherfucker, bro. He out running cars and shit.
He tries to hold him, but Fouché almost shoots Mike in the head, causing him to let go. And Marcus pulls up in Mike's Porsche, and Julie tells him to get in the car. So he kind of takes a while to get in there.
Well, he got shot in the chest, but he has the armor
it still
vest
hurt.
on, so...
I'm sure it still hurt, but he should have gotten a little faster. I've seen him look maybe 3 seconds too long or something. I don't know.
Agreed.
So all the ether barrels end up blowing up while they roll out in the Porsche. It now becomes this chase on the runway. And Mike's like, I'm okay, but we got to get him because motherfucker shot me.
I wonder what would win between a roaster and a Porsche.
Okay,
it looked like the Porsche was catching up.
And Marcus said, yeah, he shot me too. And Julie says, yeah, I had a run-in with Jim Brown here, but I'm okay. And it's like, bitch, if it wasn't for him, you'd be dead.
Yeah, he would have shot your ass in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Well, with her, she's kind of salty about the whole entire situation, but she had a car. Instead of like running it in the ether, she could have left and saved herself.
Well, she's an idiot. Well, Mike says, we got to talk about how you going to leave in the middle of a firefight to go get a car. And Marcus starts reciting the Rights Act, like you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, and Mike's like, what are you doing? So they end up catching up with this little roadster. I don't even know if that is the name of that car. Is that the roadster? I don't know. But anyway, end up catching up with it, and they get to this point where there's this huge barricade, and only one car is going to fit through the space. So Marcus just guns it, and he hits Fouché a little bit, causing him to spin out. They go through the barricade and make it safely while Fouché rams right into it.
That's sad because that's a beautiful car right there.
Well, he's able to get up and try to take off running, but Mike yells out, freeze! But he doesn't stop. So Marcus tells him he ain't worth killing. So Mike just shoots him in the knee, and he falls down to the ground, and they approach him, and Marcus says, I bet when you woke up this morning, you didn't think about 5 o'clock with a hole in your leg, did you, Fouché?
Well, this part is stupid because after he got shot in the leg, I would have walked up to him and handcuffed him. Like, they just letting him just lay there and talking mad shit to him. Like, it's kind of stupid.
Fouché says, you couldn't kill me. You're chicken shit. And Mike says, no, I could do it. I was just taking my time. That's shooting people from 30 yards away, ain't it? Nah, this is it. Right here. And he put point blank, up close and personal. That's what I'm talking about. And Fouché says, would you do it? And Marcus is trying to tell him he's not worth it. You know, he's not worth killing. Don't do it, man. And so Mike kind of puts the gun down. He's like, yeah, you're right. So he holsters the gun. And then we see this little light reflection off Marcus's eye.
Well, they're stupid because they kind of stepped away from him and they're talking to each other. No one is paying attention to this bad guy that's laying on the ground. Like, they didn't even check his shit to see if he had any other weapons. Like, very stupid. Very stupid.
Well, Mike saw that and his fucking reflexes were on point because he pulled out that gun and just unloaded that clip right in the Fouché.
Guess he got his revenge for Max.
And then Marcus looks at Mike and says, have I ever told you I love you? And Mike says, Marcus, you always get emotional after a gunfight. He says, because we survived, man. And Mike says, yeah, I love you too, man.
So at the end of this...
Don't be looking at me. I said that shit.
So at the end of this, all their bad guys are dead. All their money is gone. All the heroin is gone because everything blew up. How the hell are they good cops or detectives? Like, yes, they found them and things like that, but like, isn't the goals to get that heroin back, to get that money back, to get the bad guys into jail? Like, they destroyed a whole entire airplane. Yeah.
It was abandoned, and then you don't know what they can recover in there. And then also, the goal is to get the drugs off the streets. The drugs are off the streets.
They burnt up.
It doesn't seem.
They're not off the streets. They're in the air.
Whichever all the cops are inhaling.
You see a video where that dude was he was doing a segment on drugs, and it was some burning behind him, and they caught his ass. And he was in there.
Oh.
I think I did see that one. But Marcus is telling Mike, yeah, you all right. And Mike's like, yeah, you all right too. And Julie says, well, what am I? And Marcus says, well, you dangerous.
Why the hell she thinks she's so important?
Mike says, yeah, you look like a magnet for gunfire.
Number one, she went to the fucking nightclub and almost blew their fucking cover.
Oh, man.
Trying to kill some...
Which she shot somebody that night. She had to have.
Well, Marcus is like, you cool. You know, you all right. So Julie says, what's next? And then we hear the Bad Boys theme start being played somewhere in the background. And Marcus says, nah. Ain't going to be no next. And he handcuffs Julie to Mike and says, you want a Mike Lowry? You got Mike Lowry. That's Mike Lowry right there. I'm going home to my wife to get my quality time.
If she's even associating with him, because she
I think
mad as hell.
When the fight started happening, the gunfight, I think she was like, okay, this is serious. Like, he was telling the truth about being undercover. I was just being stupid.
Well, he said, I've been beat up 3 times since I've been out. And then the paramedic comes over, tries to help him out. And he's like, no, get off me. Get off me. I take little shots at him. And he say, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm trying to get this quality time. And then that leaves Mike and Julie trying to walk off, trying to find some keys to the handcuffs. Like, hey, wait. Hey, y'all got some keys? Anybody got keys? And one guy like, no, I don't got no keys. And Mike's like, why don't you have keys?
I'm guessing all handcuffs are just universal, the same.
I guess so. And then it fades to black, and the words go up on Bad Boys.
There it
goes.
Is that the words?
I don't know.
I
was gonna look it up on lyrics, but I was like, I think it's more fun to just
do random.
Yeah, we gotta learn the words on that. But let's go ahead and get into
Facts.
Our facts about Bad Boys.
All right.
Extra, hear all about it.
We got the facts.
All right, I'll start this bad boy off with our special facts on Bad Boys with the original script. The original script was written by George Gallo, but it was heavily rewritten by Michael Beary and Jim Mullihan and Doug Richardson. Chris?
And I love this part is that it was supposed to be for Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes. I don't think it would have been as funny, but I think it would have been just as action-packed.
I think Eddie would have been good, but I mean, Wesley Snipes, he's good with action, but I don't think it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Love it.
Koala.
Okay, so director Michael Bay didn't like the script and often engaged Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in discussions about how the dialogue and scenes could improve. He often allowed them to improvise while the cameras were rolling. He secretly told Will to call Lawrence a bitch before the car scene. The whole 2 bitches in the sea was improvised, as was Martin's comment with Tia calling him gay. Panda?
This is the directorial debut of Michael Bay. Bad Boys was the directorial debut of Michael Bay, who would go on to direct big-budget films like Transformers and Pearl Harbor. Grizz?
The opening scene where Mike and Marcus are held up by two carjackers was shot in Los Angeles. Weeks after the principal photography had been completed, Columbia and Michael Bay wanted a better scene, a more comedic introduction with the two lead characters in the original film. Koala.
The scene at the convenience store wherein the clerk puts a gun to Burnett and Lowry's head and yells, telling them to freeze, mother bitches, is also improvised. They came up with, no, you freeze, bitch. Now back up. Put the gun down and give me a pack of tropical fruit bubblicious and some Skittles. Panda?
Will Smith's breakthrough. Bad Boys was one of Will Smith's first major film roles, and it helped establish him as a leading man in Hollywood. Grizz?
After the studio refused to fund the final action scene, Michael Bay himself paid the studio $25,000 to shoot the scene. That's nice. Koala.
Even in the early days of the project, writer George Gallo's script was a source of ire among the cast and crew. Lovitz told the AV Club in 2010, but the script, another George Gallo script. The script was awful. Bay echoed these sentiments. Panda?
Yeah, that's messed up. Martin Lawrence comeback. Bad Boys marked a comeback of sorts for Martin Lawrence, who had struggled to find success in film after his TV show, Martin, had ended. Grizz?
Well, I'll go back to that bitch scene with Will Smith, is that according to commentary, Driving Miss Daisy scene, I guess is when Martin Lawrence was in the car with the girl. Martin Lawrence complained to Michael Bay that Will Smith called him a bitch. And he was like, okay, respond accordingly. And I don't know what he said after that, but it's like, give more information, bro. Come on.
Yeah, bro.
You call him another bitch or call him something. Koala.
The movie's conclusion features Smith's uptight Mike Lowry finally professing his affection for his partner and friend, Marcus Burnett. The exchange very nearly never made it into the final cut, as Smith was opposed to saying "I love you" to his screen partner. In light of impending sunset, Bay initially acquiesced to Smith a little bit angrily, allowing him to form the scene without the remark. Eventually, Bay coaxed Smith into delivering the line, and the final cut includes Mike telling Marcus he loves him. Panda?
Real-life cops as advisors. The film's producer hired real-life cops as advisors to ensure that the movie's action scenes and police procedures were accurate. Grizz?
Michael Bay was so enamored with the city of Miami that he invested a bunch of money in properties there. And he would return there and shoot some films. Bad Boys 2 and Pain and Gain in Miami. Yep, those were Michael Bay's property. Koala.
In the 1990s, it was common for well-built leading men to deliver action sequences while wearing minimal clothing. Bay hoped to follow this trend by having Smith's climatic running scene performed topless. However, Smith would only go as far as to do the scene in an unbuttoned dress shirt, which, I mean, he's pretty much shown topless anyway, so I don't see what the difference is. But anywho, Panda?
Miami Vice inspiration. Michael Bay has said that he was inspired by the TV show Miami Vice when making Bad Boys, and he wanted to capture the same sleek, stylish vibe. Grizz?
As of November 27th, 2020, this is Michael Bay's only movie under 2 hours. Koala.
Bay screened the opening scene for his mother, Harriet, who was concerned about how much profanity the central duo used. To make his mom happy, Bay re-edited the scene to omit a handful of the explicits. Panda.
High-octane action. The film's action scenes were heavily influenced by Hong Kong action cinema, and they featured a mix of high-speed car chases, shootouts, and hand-to-hand combat. Grizz?
Here's my last one. Everybody was wondering who that tall guy is. That was a nerd. He's an ex-basketball player named John Saley, who makes his film debut in this movie, whose nickname was Bad Boy.
Oh, well.
Koala.
Another on-set accident involved Tia Leone getting knocked out by Lawrence's stunt double. I ended up in the hospital at one point, she told Movie Line in 2000. It was the AK-47 under the jaw that got me. I wasn't on proper mark when the stunt guy hit me with it. My legs went over my head and landed flat on my back. Didn't have much memory at that point. The director, Michael Bay, freaked out. I started to cry because I never thought that the chill of Hollywood would be so close in my face. Panda?
Tia Leone's breakthrough. Bad Boys was also a breakthrough role for Tia Leone. who played the role of Juliet Mott, a witness who became embroiled in the action. Koala?
Faye has gone on record about his dissatisfaction with the ultimate cut of Bad Boys. The director expresses dissatisfaction with a number of specific shots, including the car chase following the club hell sequence, and one shot in which a character is thrust from an exploding airplane. Panda?
Sequels and legacy. The success of Bad Boys spawned 2 sequels, Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys for Life, as well as TV spin-off series. The film's influence can also be seen in many other action movies and TV shows that have followed in their wake. Koala?
At the beginning of the movie, Marcus comments that he wouldn't get food from Denny's because he don't like the way we've been treated. In the 90s, Denny's settled a few lawsuits that accused the staff of racism. Panda?
The movie was originally conceived as Bulletproof Hearts and was to star Dana Carvey and John Lovitz as the leads. Koala?
Well, at the boxing gym, Marcus is seen bumping into things while attempting to shadow box and fumble while hitting the speed bag. The scene is played for laughs, but in reality, Martin Lawrence excelled in boxing as a teen growing up in Maryland, even contending for the Mid-Atlantic Golden Gloves. Panda?
Will Smith was not everyone's first choice. Will Smith wasn't the first choice for the role of Mike Lowry, and the studio wasn't initially sold on the idea of him being in the movie at all. Koala?
During the bathroom fight scene at Club Hell, Michael Bay was worried about killing the fish that spilled out of the busted fish tank. Can't really remember if the fish were carp or giant goldfish, but safety of the fish was his number one concern. Why the hell did they use live fish? Like, how in the hell were they able to gather up all the 90s, fish?
Okay, they shot a movie a long time ago. I forgot what it's called, but they killed 17 cats.
Oh,
yeah,
dang!
It's one of these movies that's like pet friendly, like go on an adventure, and they threw them over a waterfall.
Oh,
and like 3 dogs died and like 17 cats died.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
dang.
90s they didn't give a fuck.
Dang, Panda.
Bay's Porsche, the car in the opening carjacking scene, is Michael Bay's own Porsche. Koala?
Michael Bay noted the difficulty he had working with the local Miami crew and how none of them were fully confident in his unorthodox way of shooting and cutting scenes. He went on to say on the commentary, there are no rules to film. That's the first rule. You can break rules and you can make your own rules. Panda?
Arsenio Hall regretted turning down the role of Mike Lowry, which ultimately went to Will Smith. Oh, yeah. He probably could have been a star. But no, you didn't want that role? Yeah, fool. Koala?
Filming began on June 27th, 1994, and was wrapped on August 31st, 1994, after 65 days of filming. And then the movie was originally set to be filmed in New York. Panda?
Wow. That's it for me.
This will be my last one. This is the first movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence where they both wear the goatee.
How about that? Well, let's move on to our final thoughts. I thought Bad Boys was a good one. I say good because it was a ride. You know, it was a detective story. It was an action story. It was a buddy cop movie. It has comedy in there. It was motivated you to hate the villain. It was putting women's lives in danger, the innocents, and then you wanted to root for Mike and Marcus, even though they had their own little issues going on in there. But I didn't want nostalgia to influence my rating here, because if it did, this would have been a great one, man. Just looking back on these guys and see them do what they did. But yeah, there was a lot of issues with like acting and some of the stunts and stuff. Yeah, it was okay, but I still say it was a good one. It's one worth checking out. The whole franchise I think is a great one. So I'm gonna say this is a good one, especially for the 90s. Did an amazing job with the effects for Michael Bay's explosion. So yeah, it's a good one. Koala, if you had to go undercover to catch some drug dealers, would you snort a bunch of blow to maintain your cover, or say that Bad Boys was a good one?
I feel, since I've never done drugs like that before, I feel like I wouldn't know how I would act. So I don't know if I would do that. Maybe I'll try to act like I fake it, but I don't know. Okay, y'all gonna hate me, but I like action movies and I like comedies, but this movie, Bad Boys, is just not for me. I think it is a bad one. Yeah, the plot and the story was fine. It was a script that was bad. The acting, I would say, is poor. The constant bickering between Mike and Marcus was just annoying. Like, literally every single scene that they had was just bickering. They didn't really seem to be good detectives. They go to crime scenes and disturb the scene. Every inaction, they had someone die or a shootout or even destruction of property. The whole witness protection wasn't any protection. There was no one actually watching Julie. Her being, I'm only being around Mike, that's fine, but since it was a cop that was bad, it just didn't really make sense. And then all the lying that Marcus was doing to his wife was, I just think it was kind of pointless. They should have gotten the criminal to jailbreak the file from the start. It just seemed to be making dumb choices, like Marcus going to the madam's house by himself. I don't know, it just didn't flow at all, in my opinion. So I personally wouldn't really watch this again if I didn't have to. I remember watching the rest of the series a long time ago, and I remember it being like, ooh, good. So I would be interested in like keep going with the series to see how it is. But this first one is just, my opinion, bad one. Yeah.
Grizz, if you bought a 1994 Porsche 911 Turbo 3.6,
Ooh, 150,000.
would you expect cup holders? Or would you say The Bad Boys is a good one?
What the hell? So, with all the movies that I've always said, this is my childhood, man. This is the one where you see two black actors in their prime, like, do a damn good job at an action movie, you know? And you really didn't, I feel like you didn't see that back in the day. Martin Lawrence was funny as hell back in the day. It was before he was doing Blue Streak and all these other movies, I think, right? But it's like hot off the heels of Martin Lawrence, no, it's not Martin, the TV show. I was invested in this movie back in the day. And then Will Smith after, what's that damn show? West Philadelphia.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. I always love to see these guys work together like this. Bad Boys 1, 2, Forever, everything. Just like Will Smith, Man in Black, you know, all this stuff. So I say this is a great one.
Ooh.
Because I loved watching this movie back in the day because it was nothing like it.
We are all over
1995, it was nothing like it.
How about that? We are all over the spectrum for this one. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. That's our review for Bad Boys. And now we're going to move on to Movie 20 Questions. This one's going to be hosted by me. It's me. It's Panda B. So let the interrogation begin.
Interrogation?
That's a good interrogation.
We're just going to do year and then genre.
Yeah. Year first. 2000 up. 2010.
Is this maybe move? Whoa. Is this
maybe move?
Maybe move.
Is this movie made between 2000 and 2010?
No.
You want to do 10 to 25?
Yeah.
This is made. What the hell? Is this movie made between 2010 and 2025?
No.
Ooh.
It's a 90s movie.
Do you want to stick with the 90s or do you want to do like 80s, 90s? Wait, who's this movie from? Is this you that picked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
90s.
Yeah. Why don't you stick with 90s?
90s.
Do you want to do, since we're pretty certain with it being 90s, do you want to do like 90 to 95?
Yeah.
This is movie made between 90 and 95.
No.
You want to do 96 through 99? Is this movie made between 96 and 99?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Damn. Okay.
We screwed
I
up.
thought I knew you like
You sons of bitches.
Oh.
Do I ever say 2000, 2010, right?
Yeah, we've done 2000. We've literally done 90 to 2025.
Okay.
So we have 80s and earlier. But I'm like, I want to be like, I'm pretty certain it's 80s, but then we'll be in the same boat.
Yep, 80s.
Shit. Just do the full
Yep,
80s. Is this in the 80s?
Yes.
Okay.
85 to 89.
No.
We're on our 7th question.
Hey, that's what we got to do, man.
So we know it's in the 80s. So do you want to do
82.
82 through 84? Or you want to just stick with...
I don't know.
Let's not stick with just 82.
Okay.
It would be 80, 81, 82. Is this movie made between 80 and 80... Did I say 82 or 83? 82. So 80, 81, 82.
No.
So it's 80... I'm going to go check on the child. So it's 83... 84.
85.
No, 85. I said 85 to 89, and that was no. So it's 83 or 84.
This movie made in 84.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is this let me say the big three. Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's his name? I can never think of their names, bro. It's been so long since they've been in. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, or a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No.
Okay. He said Sean. I did Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, or Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You didn't do Jonna?
I just wanted to make sure we got these actors out of the way. Those are the big three in the 80s, man.
Okay. And that was all no's?
Yeah, no.
Okay. What kind of genre? Action or comedy?
Action, comedy, horror.
You think those would be good ones?
Yeah.
Okay, is this movie action, comedy, horror?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to do do you want to do two? Which ones? I feel like comedy and like horror or action and horror. So I feel like action and comedy always kind of coincides.
We do eliminate horror if it is.
Okay. So is this a horror movie?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so horror movies in the 84s. Might be a stupid question, but is that black and white movies?
No. They made color TV in like the 60s. Jeez.
Okay.
This is not mine from last week.
What are you talking about?
Not last month, sorry. Last month.
Oh, yeah, you're super old.
It was the 50s. Dang, mama.
Children of the Corn? Ooh, so there's all of like the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday, Gremlins, Children of the Corn, Ghostbusters, Terminator. So I feel like he would choose one of the big name ones and not some of the stupid
you never know.
actors.
I thought it was the 90s. I mean, he grew up in the 90s. His favorite movie was Money Talks. That was the 90s.
That is true.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
I'm surprised he didn't do that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to do... Are we just doing actors at this point?
Yeah.
So Bill Murray was in Ghostbusters.
Okay. When was Jurassic Park made?
I thought 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And Jurassic Park, is that even considered a horror?
It's action.
Yeah,
it's not comedy, though.
But this is a horror movie. He said yes to
damn,
horror.
he did. Oh, yeah, sorry. He did. I mean, it could be a horror movie, Jurassic Park. Whatever.
Friday the 13th. Who is that dude? Who plays Jason Voorhees?
I don't know. I think that's what's so good about those movies is because you don't know the actor that
is true
was in those movies, but then they never had like an A-list other than like later on when they was coming out with movies. They never had like an A-list person. It's like, oh, this person is over Jason or Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger or whoever.
Robert Englund does Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you have any actors? Because I kind of did. I did Bill Murray from Ghostbusters. Robert Englund does Nightmare on Elm Street. And then Ted White's the dude from Friday the 13th.
I'll go with that.
Okay. Bill Murray, Ted White, or Robert Englund?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, so we're on our 13th question. Can I just randomly ask, does this have ghosts in it? Well, Friday the 13th, they don't have ghosts. Ghostbusters is the only one that would have ghosts. Or I could ask, because if I ask about the ghosts, then it's for sure, if he says yes, it's for sure Ghostbusters. But if I ask if there's killers, then that takes Ghostbusters out of it. Because there's no killers in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it is, because the ghost killed people.
I'm thinking more of like...
What was Freddy considered?
Yeah, because he's not...
He wasn't a slasher. He wasn't like a living being.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
in
killed.
Dreams, but people can say he's... Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, it's weird, right? So let's ask if... I was going to say something like, does he haunt your dreams or...
Yeah, but the ghost could. Doesn't the ghost? Well, isn't Ghostbuster, they take over that one woman? And she had bad dreams and stuff like that? Like she floated up in the air? Yeah. Or is that like straight up possession?
Just ask. Okay, so a good one to ask is, does it have Dan Aykroyd in it? If he says yes, then it's Ghostbusters.
Okay. That'll be the 13th question then.
Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Ghostbusters.
there you go.
Does this have a big fluffy marshmallow in it.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it's Ghostbusters.
Yay! You guys got it.
14 questions in.
You see how you play the game, guys? You don't go in the fucking encyclopedia looking back in goddamn archives to find some goddamn movie that don't fucking exist
Oh my God.
to try to defeat each other. You just pick a movie.
Let my mama know that.
There
Okay,
you
this is
go.
her favorite movie.
Well, that is it, guys, for us at We Real Reels. Be on the lookout for our next movie, Brad Pitt's Memento. Yeah, that's going to be a good one right there. So, that'll be it for us, guys. All right, guys. Grizz? Koala?
Bye.
Remember, guys, keep on reeling.
Super.